So here are all of my encouragements for you all to make terrible decisions, as I am the GM.
Ash has a crossbow bolt in her side, 0 dots in skirmish, and 0 dots in wreck. And I'm so excited to see this get even worse. So that's 1 vote for escalation.
Skelly has 3 guns and all the ammo.
Crossroads has no guns, but Crossroads is a gun powered by ghosts.
Have we established that your guns are special to you? I feel like we're establishing that your guns are special to you.
Before this crew, they were my only friends.
You've known us for 5 days. You've known those guns a lot longer.
These are my babies.
Yeah.
I just want to say, Rowan was starting to do this, and then he realizes to harvest. This doesn't help. Like, don't do that.
This is not.
No.
This is
like,
not
don't do
this.
this.
Like,
Yeah.
doing this to an executioner.
Yeah, that's not what you want.
Like this, like
We call that the go sign, you know? Like, yeah.
Oh man.
This theme's great. I will do a fortune roll. Notes. No thoughts. Head empty. 1! I rolled a 1!
Yep. Hello everybody, and it still always utterly delights me whenever I see that intro because, among other things, it means that we are due for yet another Speculate special episode on this channel, twitch.tv/arvanelron. Thank you so very much for joining us for yet another session of Girl by Moonlight, Fractal Spire. I will be your humble stage manager this evening, Brandon O'Brien. Thank you so very much for joining us. We are very excited to get into some dream shenanigans because we haven't for a while because my PC didn't want us to, but now we are going to get into more of that. But first, the obvious housekeeping notes on this channel. First and foremost, there are a myriad ways that you can support twitch.tv/arvanelron and all of the cool things that happen here on this channel. !ArvTube will give you access to the YouTube channel, where you can find VODs of all of the cool things that happen on this channel, which will include a thing that I will mention in just a little bit. !ArvTweets will give you access to Gregory Wilson's Twitter account, where you can see Gregory A. Wilson continue to be the thoughtful and erudite person that he always is. And as of the last few days, continually being thankful and pleased and gleeful about all of the cool things that happen on this channel. But again, we will get to that just now. !ArvCord will give you access to the Discord channel, where you can meet all of the cool people in this community. And receive updates about whenever we are about to go live with more content on this channel. !ArvTreon will give you access to the Patreon channel for the Patreon for this channel, where you can support all of the things that take place on this channel financially. We are presently just about 21 patrons and just over $200 a month. So if you are not already subscribed to the Patreon, that would be really cool and continue to allow us to do cool things on this channel and hopefully do a whole lot more. !ArvShop will give you access to the merch store, where you can find some of the cool things that represent some of the cool things that take place on this channel, including Infinity and Beyond merch. And again, I keep hinting that I want to make some Speculate merch, but suffice it to say that at some point that's going to happen, because I have already willed it into the universe. And last but not least, !Speculate for this content in particular, for Speculate content, because we are taking over the Sundays on this channel slowly but surely, and we would really like your support in not only continuing to consume all of our video and audio content, but helping us make more and better video and audio content, because your patronage via the Speculate Patreon includes payment to our wonderful audio editor, Rudy Basso, without whose assistance our podcast would be quite a struggle to produce, and we are very thankful to Rudy for assisting us in this regard, and we would like to continue being able to pay for that kind of work. So thank you so very much for supporting the Speculate Patreon, and if you can still do so, we would love it very much if you did. As for other noteworthy things related to this channel, exclamation point Icarus, for the Icarus and Jelinek graphic novels by Gregory A. Wilson, which are absolutely amazing, and you should definitely check them out. Published by Athos Arts. Exclamation point library for Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library, published by Alligator Alley Entertainment. Which is also very cool and has so many other contributors that you may know, including Gregory A. Wilson and Amra Amaraz. So definitely check that out as well. And last but not least, exclamation point, Greyshade no longer gives you information about how you can pledge to the Greyshade Kickstarter because, thanks to you, Greyshade has been funded, and I'm very excited to be able to say that 254 backers have pledged over $25,000 to bring the Grey Assassin trilogy and tie-in RPG to life. I am very excited that you all get to get your hands on those books written by Gregory A. Wilson and published by Athos Arts. Get your hands on that RPG by Alligator Alley Entertainment and that cool Founders Coin by Norse Foundry. I am actually jealous of some of you because you will have those cool things in your possession, because it is actually really rad, and I'm still very excited that you'll get to enjoy those things. If you were not here for our finale TTRPG extravaganza earlier in this weekend, please check that out on the YouTube channel. It is a hoot. If you have time to consume over 6 hours of people floundering through several RPG systems, it is actually quite wild. Those are some of my very best RPG experiences that I've had in the last couple of months, so definitely check that out whenever you get the chance. And again, thank you so very much for supporting the cool stuff that happen on this channel, and specifically supporting the Kickstarter. But without further ado, I would like to introduce you to all of my cool friends who are about to get into some dream shenanigans. And by my friends, I mean your friends, and by your friends, I mean the strange friends. So I am just going to very rudely interrupt whatever remarkable, groundbreaking conversation that they were just having, that I just butted myself into without any care in the world, because I'm a rude and terrible person. As I now come over to this screen, so you can say hello to all of my strange friends. Hello, strange friends.
Hi,
Happy
strange
time
friends.
zone.
We have too many bits.
I'm very excited to get into some dream shenanigans with you all, but before we do so, I would like you all to introduce yourselves to all of the lovely people in chat by telling them who you are, what you do, and who you will be playing this evening, starting with Mike.
Hey everybody, I'm Mike. I write as Michael R. Underwood. This summer, I'm reissuing my geeky urban fantasy series. Books 1 and 2 are out now. You can get them in paperback and ebook. I am one of the 3 co-hosts of Speculate, along with Brandon and Greg. And you can watch our just started Court of Blades series, Valaword, at youtube.com/arvaneleron. I'm Mike R. Underwood on Twitter and stream at twitch.tv/turbotango. He, him pronouns for me. I play Vic Sains, the Guardian. They, them pronouns for Vic.
Nice, thank you. Next, Valerie.
Hello, 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 friends. I am Valerie Valdes, she, her pronouns. I am the author of Space Operas, Chilling Effects, Prime Deception, and the forthcoming Fault Tolerance, which will be out next month. And I stream on Twitch as the kids are asleep. I will be playing Nina Lopez, the unlikely hero.
Nice. Next, Jeoi.
Hello, hello, Yoi Gawain Lin, game and fiction writer, pronouns he, they. Today I am playing Vermilion Jingwei Ruth, who is the outsider, pronouns he, they, also for Ruth.
Nice. And last but not least, who is presently recovering from a brief lighting error taking place off screen, Iori.
Oh no, that was very much on screen. Happy time zone chat. Kusano Iori, they them pronouns for me. I am playing Cat Holly, the time traveler, who at least for now is she her pronouns.
Uh-huh. And again, I am your humble GM this evening, Brandon O'Brien, pronouns he, they. Um, I play all of the parts of the world that hate all of these people and want them to suffer. Um, and in in keeping with the discovery of that suffering, um, a brief recap of our last session includes mentioning that they have that our wonderful Dream Knights have briefly struggled with the idea that they now have the worst unlikely ally ever in Dice Calendrine, who has now given them a great deal of information about how terrible the conspiracy that is afoot is and how much it seeks to destroy them, including but not limited to being the target of that destruction while literally talking to them. Um, but in the midst of providing all of that information, has been um attacked by ninjas, briefly put off by the idea of continuing to share this information with said Dream Knights, and still is willing in their own unique way to try their very best to still be um allies to our Dream Knights as much as possible. Um Only to, unbeknownst to our friends here, be waylaid in the middle of the night by an unknown assailant, while um, leaving Somnio in the midst of presenting more information to them. And then, as they all retreat to their homes later that evening, they have all been alerted that something is afoot in the dreamscape. Um, as you all are in your homes, you all notice an alarm of sorts, letting you know that something is taking place in the dream. But it's an alarm you've never seen in this state before. You know that if something is afoot in the dream, a mirror of some sort in your vicinity will typically give you an alert. And especially if it involved someone that you actually cared about, like any of your friends. But all of your friends seem safe because their alarms aren't going off. And there is this sickly dark green emeraldish glow coming from these mirrors that you can all see in your own homes all of a sudden. And you've never seen that before, and you have no idea what it means.
So we're all at home, correct, when this happens?
Yeah. All of you, some of you have been home for a while, some of you have just arrived, but you are all presently at home when this happens.
I think before we jump into investigating, we had better take our crew upgrade because we're super squishy and I want whatever bonus we're getting before we head into the dream.
Oh, yes, y'all have a fancy new crew upgrade that will hopefully make you more resistant to some of the suffering that you will endure in this game. Have you all decided what that might be yet?
Jeoi, what were our options?
So the options that we had been choosing between were Moment of Crisis. Text for that reads, when factoring your engagement roll, if you answer yes to does this mission determine the fate of a friend, gain plus 2d instead of plus 1d. You also gain plus 1d when you help a friend recover from emotional harm. That is the first one. The second one was Lucid, a transcendent ability, so it only applies when a character transcends. That ability text reads, each protagonist marks a transcendent action dot in Forgive, Express, and Conceal.
Mm-hmm.
So those were our primary options.
So it's interesting because in all the other playsets, I think there's the expectation of transcendence is much more common because there's less of an identity bifurcation.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas
in the other playsets, people fucking want to transcend.
It's like all of our characters have complicated relationships with our avatars.
Yeah.
Also, I think this is the series that has the most restriction on transcendence in that you can only transcend when dreaming. Whereas the other ones, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can transcend more or less any time in waking. I think there may be
Yeah.
a restriction on a Sea of Stars because you have to transcending allows you to connect with your engine, so you can only transcend when inside the engine, which is a restriction in and of itself. But otherwise, within the other playsets, you can transcend pretty much at any time.
Yeah, but like, we are doing a pre-release playtest here, and we wouldn't be doing a good one if we weren't doing this shit on hard mode.
This is technically true, yes.
I think, or one way to pitch it is if we take Lucid, then that is mechanical incentivization for us to showcase the various transcendent forms and the avatars and their relationships.
But specifically with respect to forgiving, expressing, and concealing.
But I mean, that's still a lot of motivation to transcend in the first place, to see what that would look like.
We are all concealing many things.
This is
Maybe we would start expressing things if we had some fucking dots in it. And God knows we will all, by the end of this, have plenty of opportunity to use forgive.
On the other hand, I will say I am very open to the idea, specifically as GM, leaning into some of my favorite touchstones when I pitched that we would play this series in particular for Girl by Moonlight, is that I like the idea that your friends are not limited to your fellow Dream Knights. So if at some future point you decided you wanted to do something for a redeemed former enemy, or someone that you interact with on a regular basis. Oh Lord. I am saying that is a possibility that would be open to you if you would so seek to use it. Oh my, the fact that you were so eager to let me know that means that is information that I've now stored in my brain. You should have never given it away to me.
Jeoi has been pretty consistent about flagging his thoughts about that character.
Yes.
Ruth is a very, very consistent person in terms of emotional likes and dislikes.
So, my vote is for Lucid. What about the rest of you?
I am also happy with Lucid.
+1 for Lucid.
Yeah.
Nina cannot benefit from Lucid because Nina cannot as of yet transcend. But when you do transcend, Nina, you will have powers.
Yes, let's be real. 3/4 of this team is not super hyped about transcending. So I'm not sure how much good this is actually going to do us.
Transcendence
okay, team, let's mark our transcendent action dots in forgive, express, and conceal.
I am adding the ability text to the series sheet.
Nice. With that being said, and now being marginally less squishy in the world, how do you all respond to the green light emanating from your mirrors?
Ruth texts Vic, what the fuck? Without any context or preamble.
Brandon, what the fuck? Is this something that I've experienced? Does this remind Vic of anything? Should I roll about it?
I believe there is a roll for that. What would you like to roll for it?
I mean, analyze seems like the best thing, but I think, I guess in the moment, using perceive of like, is this an immediate threat to us? I think I will take that because 1D possibly at less effect versus 0D at possibly greater effect. I think I'll go with 1D.
Okay, so I do want to qualify then, just to be absolutely sure. Perceive will give you more information in the vein of, is this an immediate threat? Is this something that I'm supposed to be immediately concerned about? Analyze will give you more information in the vein of, have I seen this before? Does this resemble an experience that I've had before as a Dream Knight? Is there something about this that seems familiar or that I can take a closer look at? Given that information, are you still gonna settle with perceive?
I mean, I should try analyze. I'm just bad at it. And it's let's see. Well, I only have 2 stress, or someone could spend a link if we think that this is worth putting resources into.
I have a link. I have 2 links. Which is very funny because Ruth and Vic mechanically are rivals as per the Outsider playbook. So one of the things I can do is to grant +1d to an ally's action. I suppose within this context we could contextualize that by saying like there's a brief text interchange where Vic asks Ruth, "What do you mean, what the fuck?" because that's not actually very helpful. And that gives Vic some hint as to what to analyze, just because we're both seeing the same green glow in the mirror.
Yeah, because if we're communicating by text, could it be a normal assist and then anything you can do, I can do better shows up?
I do not actually have that yet.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm misreading.
Noted.
It's okay.
So that elevates your roll from 2d6 and take the lesser result to 1d6.
So as a normal assist, I take 2 stress or 1 stress?
Normal assist is 1 stress. If you spend a link, it's just the link.
Okay. Since we're doing this over text like he suggested, I'll say it's the same thing. It's 1 stress.
Okay. Brandon, is there a poison promise here that I could use in lieu of a push?
There is a poison promise that I do have in mind. Do I want to make this? Are there 2 clocks in Blades in the Dark? That sounds like a lot. Okay, so the poison promise that I do have for you is, upon interacting with this in an analytical sense rather than simply moving into the dreamscape, you will have interacted with some dark, lingering magic that is now physically within your mirror. The consequence of which is that it will activate a 4 clock for the condition stranded. The consequence of which being when that clock hits 4, all of you will become separated within the dream.
Oh, no, I don't want to inflict that on the others.
If we could all transcend, I would say yes, but one of us cannot transcend.
Although it would make for really good drama.
It would make for very good drama, but also it'd be nice to not lose Nina.
What do y'all think as players about that?
I will correct you that I do think you are indeed fair. It's not that you will all be separated from each other. It is just that Vic will be separated from the rest of the group.
Sold.
I still expected there to be some kind of debate. I guess you... okay, self-sacrifice it is.
Thanks, Deed.
XP!
So that's 2d6 then. For your analyze roll, your position is desperate. And your effect is limited.
Let's see. What can I do to improve effect?
Mark your desperate XP.
I should mark my desperate XP.
I like to think that right before Vic stops the text exchange to do the mirror examination, that Ruth gets a bad feeling and texts them, "Don't do stupid shit," and then Vic goes and does stupid shit.
Okay, so I'm just I'm putting in the explanation so we know what's going on. I'm gonna roll 2d6 and let's see how good or bad of an idea this is. There's a 6.
Yeah.
Almost a crit. 6 and a 5.
Nice.
Nice.
This is good. I mean, the clock still fills one segment, so that's 1 of 4 on stranded. Um, but you have never seen this green glow before, but you've seen glows before. Um, some like lilac pinkish ones, some deep crimson ones. Usually, any of these is just a sign that something very strange is happening in the dream. Um, of note to you in particular is of the few times that you've actually operated as a dream knight, um, alongside Euphony, and in a lot of those circumstances, while venturing within the dream, only with Euphony alongside you, um, you have noticed one thing in common with all of those things. Someone is attempting to exert control over the dream that is so powerful that very briefly, the dream is not operating under its own conditions, but like as much of the dreamscape as possible is operating under the conditions of someone else acting upon it. Almost as if Euphony has never told you this directly, but has kind of hinted at it poetically, that it's almost as if the dreamscape is sending you the SOS and not someone else. But you have no idea what that means. The dream has always been hostile to you, so a part of you is like, I don't give a damn if it feels good. I just want to make sure someone else doesn't get hurt. But that is a thing that you think those things have in common. But you don't know what any specific color means, so those might just be random.
Okay. Very cool. So Vic, with practiced social media influencer tapping thumbs, messages all 3 of the others. The green glow is not exactly like something I've seen, but the closest I've seen is when someone is leaning so hard on the dream to try to control it that they're almost running the whole thing. This is probably pretty big. We should go in if we can.
So inside the group chat, this message just blips up unprompted, and Ruth sees this and texts Vic in their original one-on-one thread. You did stupid shit, didn't you?
Shut up, it's fine.
You are a fucking liar.
Kat responds in the group chat with just the crying emoji because she really wanted to sleep tonight, like sleep normally.
Wouldn't sleep
Like,
have been so nice.
Get those goddamn delta waves, let her body repair itself.
So yeah, you all now have this information. Does this mean now that you all venture into the dream?
So with the glow, would we all be able to focus on the same thing to go in and arrive together, or we need to do something else to arrive together?
This is a thing that you would know, so I'm just gonna give this to you straight away. Typically, in order to arrive at the same place within the dream relative to someone else's dreaming, you would need to enter a mirror that is physically close to that person, or enter your own mirror with something that is personal to that person. But you have no idea who this is for. Alternatively, you can all arrive at the same place within the dream. The only 2 ways to do so are to all enter with a thing that you all share value in, or all enter through the same mirror.
Well, we have those collages in our mirrors, right? So we each have a bit of something from each other. So wherever we go, we're not splitting the party, at least. We just might not be that close to our target. I'm personally fine with that.
Yeah.
Because you pointed that out, this means that this is a thing that Kat knows. One of the shards of mirror that you own is Euphony's. Which means that if all of you entered through Euphony's shard, you would all enter in the same place.
Is this because Euphony made the collage that we would all enter into the same place?
Um, yes, it is. It. I mean, you all had the idea to do the thing, even though Euphony was the one who told you that this was the effect that it would have. But it's less that it's because they made it, and more that it is the one shard of mirror glass that you all own that isn't just the piece of glass that is doing that duty for everybody else. It is, in a lot of ways, one of the few things of euphonies that you still all have, and as a result, even if you don't think about it sentimentally, has elevated itself through its engagement with the dreamscape to a kind of sentimental status that gives it that ability.
Hmm. And this is something only Cat knows, or Cat has figured out.
No, I think we all know
Yeah, that's a
that.
thing that you
Okay.
all
We
know.
would all know from season 1.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. In particular, I imagine it's a thing that Ruth hates.
Yep. Yep, Ruth hates it.
Yeah? So, do you all enter through Euphony's shard of glass?
I
mean-
think so.
I
mean,
guess.
dramatically, it sounds cool.
I
Let's roll.
suppose we all have to, yeah. Ruth pings everyone to not forget their dream exit care packs, which he made for everybody, unasked for and unprompted. It's basically like a little tiny little bug out package so that when people leave the dream, they're not without their phone, their wallet, their keys, some like first aid emergency stuff. So that way, if we happen to exit out of, I don't know, the back of a stop sign in the middle of a highway, none of us are, short of any money to get a taxi back home.
Brandon.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes those things happen. The dreamscape is very volatile like that, I'm sorry. It's not my fault, it's the world's fault. That's what all GMs would like to believe. So yes. So you all emerge in the dream. And you all find yourself in a place that, very briefly, doesn't look very much like the dream. It looks like a street in the middle of the desert in the middle of the night. This seems vaguely familiar to you all, if only because, even though the dreamscape is not a physical place with physical dimensions, you all see one thing that you all recognize very immediately before you discover all of the things that are strange, which is the very last time that you all emerged in the dream through Euphony's mirror in particular. You all arrived at a part of the dream that Euphony had interacted with prior to the end of season 1. Where they planted a small belladonna plant, a real belladonna plant that they had picked in the real world, in the dream, and tied ribbons to its stem with all of your initials on each of those ribbons, as if to mark this place as the place where you all had finally decided to enter the dream as one, as a community of dream knights. And you see that belladonna plant at the edge of that street in the middle of the desert. What you also notice is that on the other side of the street is a very large, like, glass and steel building. It looks like maybe a spa, but it's lit up from the outside as if it's a casino. It's like just lots of like very bright lights at the top edge of the outer wall of this building. The glass double doors are as tall as 3 or 4 of you, and standing it Inside, on the other side of those glass double doors, you see what looks like two tall young women wearing like red striped nurses outfits.
Ruth is irritated because those outfits are not up to code.
Yeah, they don't actually look like anything that an actual nurse would wear. They look like something someone would wear if they were role playing a nurse.
Can't say it's that encouraging that
Kat thinks this is a themed cafe.
Yeah, it does
This
have
is
theme cafe vibes.
absolutely a shitty concept cafe.
Yeah.
Mike, you were going to say something, I think.
Yeah, so Vic says, I can't say that I'm too enthusiastic about the fact that this thing is right across the street from the Belladonna.
It's a dream. Things just appear in dreams, no?
Yeah, but psychic proximity. Maybe it's nothing.
Anything ever nothing.
Maybe someday it will be.
You think that
I mean,
someone put this building across from the plant deliberately?
nothing can ever really be nothing because we have been running around playing Ninja Warrior in other people's psyches.
Yeah, sometimes some stuff in dreams is just the mind defragging.
Also, how do we know that this isn't somehow our fault? Just for all the time we spend rearranging the furniture in other people's heads, how do we know we didn't make this happen?
It's a good question.
We go
Though-
inside.
I think we probably we should. Though if it's if this were backlash for, or maybe this is backlash for Ruth because of how wrong those outfits are.
Wait, if
Ruth
this is spa, do
looks
we have
at
to
Vic
tip
the way
people?
he usually looks at dice.
Kat puts her arm through Ruth's arm in a way that looks cuddly, but is also sort of about making sure he has one less arm to punch with.
Wow. Okay. So are you going through the doors then? Okay.
Unfortunately,
Looks like
I think so.
You walk towards the doors, and the nurses on either side of those doors pulls them inward, and gestures for you to enter, and they say in perfect tandem, in voices that sound strangely younger than their bodies look. Welcome to, and then they say something else, but it sounds like it's been garbled in the sound of static. But you can hear, like, it sounds like it starts with the letter R, but you don't make out what the word is.
Oh, great, it's also a robot cafe.
Anyone who has now approached the door can give me a roll to notice something about the hallway and the things in that hallway.
Is this a perceive roll, perchance?
Perceive will work, yes.
Okay, I shall roll a perceive.
Okay, your position is risky and your effect is limited.
1d6. That is a 5.
A 5 is enough because you are close to the door. You notice that the two figures that open the doors for you are indeed mannequins. Their eyes are moving, but their lips are not. And their limbs are moving as if they do not have joints within them. It is very disturbing, I'm sure.
Well, I wonder if anybody made a character who has a fear of mannequins.
Oh, it appears we're being raided. Hello, raiders. We are playing Girl by Moonlight.
Hello! Thank you for joining us, Raiders. I hope that you are into some dream shenanigans at the moment. We are presently playing Girl by Moonlight, an upcoming game being released by Evil Hat and being designed by Andrew Gillis, and you can find out more information about it by typing exclamation point Girl by Moonlight in the chat, and there's a link in the chat right now. So yes, thank you for joining us.
Upon noticing that the nurses are mannequins, Ruth grumbles and goes, "Great, the statues talk here too."
Do you all just continue down the hallway, or do you look out for anything else?
I'm up to continue. Are the mannequins following us?
Nope, they're still holding the door.
Oh, thank goodness.
For someone to be manipulating the dream at the scale that would produce that kind of effect, I would imagine that we're probably looking for the most pampered patron, or the host or owner doing all of the pulling the strings.
I believe at this point, this would be a good place for us to position the actual engagement rule for this mission. Which I now need to find the questions for all of a sudden in this document. Aha, I have found them. So you already get one die for free because there is always hope. Is this mission particularly heroic or noble?
It might be especially inadvisable.
We don't know enough about it yet.
Well,
Yeah,
would it...
we don't know the rescuing dice, so if we don't know, then does it count? Like, that's
well,
a GM
Brandon
question.
did clarify that this is when the dream itself is sending an SOS signal, which Vic communicated to us. So therefore, could it be framed as noble that we are going in response to a need of the dream?
I mean, that would only count if y'all care. Do you care that the dream itself might be in peril? Because the dream has been kind of antagonistic toward you for most of your life.
Yeah, I think Vic at least believes that there is a version of the dreamscape that can be positive. And if people like dice can be rehabilitated, there's nothing to say that the dreamscape can't be rehabilitated, right?
And that is enough for me. So take +1. Does the mission's goal or methods reflect the worst parts of the protagonists? No, so you do not subtract 1 die. Is the mission following through on details from the protagonist's investigation? Unfortunately not. Are the protagonists acting rashly or on very little information? Unfortunately, that is the case, so take -1d. So you're back to 1. Does this mission determine the fate of a friend? I, as GM, must let you know mechanically that this is the case, so take +1d. Are troubles from the protagonist's mundane lives getting in the way of this mission? No.
I mean, do we count Ruth's entire attitude as a complication of mundane life.
I mean,
Wow, thanks.
I was gonna let it slide, and then you pointed it out.
The desert bus was rolling by, and Kat just like whoop underneath the bus for Ruth.
Oh God, I feel like it is only a state of honesty that I must subtract 1 die. So you're back to 1. I'm sorry.
Sorry, guys.
Does the mission's tier exceed the current tier of the investigation track? Mechanically, it does not.
No.
Are there any other elements that you want to consider due to circumstances or events in your world at the director's discretion? These factors might improve or impede your engagement roll. So I'm going to give you +1 die because Vic has been in a situation like this before. So you'll be rolling 2 dice for your engagement roll.
2 questions.
Yes.
1, do we get any bonus dice for having a completely full investigation track? And 2, conversely, do we lose dice for something on the suspect chart?
I keep forgetting to look at the suspect chart. Because, like, I've never played a Blades game where suddenly things will affect your ability to continue doing these things.
We are nerfed so hard because of that chart.
Maze of Dreams is definitely hard mode. It may not be the hardest mode of the playsets.
Yeah.
All right, yes, because you haven't identified everyone at the indoctrination level of the conspiracy.
Yeah.
So it's -1 to engagement until all are identified and the overseer is confronted. So we're still missing the propagator and we're still missing the follower in that particular cell. So we get the -1 to engagement, and because we don't have anybody identified in followers, we haven't identified all the followers, foes are at +1 scale until all followers are identified.
Yeah. So yes, you'll be rolling 1 die for engagement.
Okay. Does anybody feel lucky today?
Yes. No.
I have faith in you, but I'm the GM, so you probably shouldn't trust my faith.
Okay, so I guess Vic is rolling this one?
Sure.
Yes, I will ask Vic to roll.
I'm willing to take the
Wait.
blame.
Do we
Go
have
ahead.
to do it in roll 20, or can Mike show off his fancy new dice?
While I would love very much to show off your fancy new Wormwood and Dispel dice, I don't know how we're gonna see what you rolled. I guess you're on your honor.
Yeah, you would have to trust me that I was not doing shenanigans.
We could do both. You show off the dice and you roll in roll 20.
No, I'll just roll in roll 20. That's a 4. Risky.
You are risky with the you are in a risky position when the action starts. Which is represented by 2 things. 1, the 4 clock stranded has now ticked its 2nd segment. And 2, either Vic or Kat, I would like you to give me a perceive roll.
I don't have any dots in that. Do you have dots in that?
I have 1. I will tank that.
Okay,
roll.
it's your roll.
Your position is desperate and your effect is limited.
Do I get bonus effect for my guardian ability that says you get +1 effect when anticipating threats?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, when you gather info to anticipate possible threats in the current situation, you have +1 effect level. So does that mean that I get
effect level? So that
does
means
that mean that I get limited even on a failure?
Yeah, if it's effect level, then that means that your position...
No, I guess it would be result level would be limited even if I fail, if we're using Blades terminology. So it may just be desperate standard.
Yeah, it becomes desperate standard now.
Okay. And I'm rolling 1d. And that's a 1. Womp womp.
Wow. Oh my god.
Well, this was bound to happen eventually.
Well, let me mark that.
Oh my
XP.
word.
Oh, it was at risky though. It wasn't
Yeah, it was risky.
not to.
Wait, was it? Yeah, it was risky.
Okay, you had said desperate. I will take
Did
that
I?
away.
Did I say desperate? If I said desperate and I forgot, then it's desperate. Please mark XP as needed. I guess my brain became hollow. I apologize.
Yeah, because like mechanically, it would make sense for the first roll after engagement to take the position of the engagement result, right?
Mm-hmm. But then again, you're in the dream, and none of you have transcended yet, etc., etc. So things are always very volatile. Okay. I would like. Okay, so this is how this happens. Vic, you're trying to get the read of your surroundings. Some things dawn on you as you are all now walking down this corridor. The walls are white. You are seeing lots of small glass double doors on the left and right hand sides of the walkway that lead into rooms where you see like spa beds and saunas and like all kinds of other such hospitality accoutrement, but you don't see anybody in them.
Okay.
You try some of those doors, they're open, no one's in those rooms. You keep continuing down this way, trying to get any sense of anything noteworthy. And then, very briefly, like, maybe you blink, maybe your eye just kind of susurrates in the dream, or there's a glitch in the visual presentation of this part of the dreamscape that you didn't really make sense of. And you no longer feel like you're in this corridor. Just briefly. And then, again, you're walking down the corridor as normal. And as you keep walking, you continue to find rooms that don't seem to have anyone in them. And then you turn to your left, and one of these spa rooms has a very large hole in it, in the floor, and like a small mound of dirt on the tile beside the hole. And you see a hand poke up out of the hole and try to climb out of the hole.
Does that hole look familiar?
The hole looks terribly familiar. You saw it in another dream.
Okay.
Oh, this hole.
I think this
Oh,
might be
no,
Euphony.
no.
As you see it, I would like everybody else to give me a 1-die fortune roll.
As Nina sees it, or?
The only person who has seen the hole, the only person who has noticed the hole is Vic. Everybody else, I would like you to give me a 1-die fortune roll.
That is a 4 for Nina.
A 4 for Ruth.
Kat, might you also roll?
Erg. Let's see. That's a 2.
Ah, cool, fun.
Oh boy.
Is it though? Is it cool and fun?
I don't think it is.
Delightful. So, I asked for the fortune rolls because the result of the perceive roll has the unfortunate side effect of filling the stranded clock. Vic, you turn to the hole, and when you turn back to your friends, the only person beside you is Kat.
I would like to try to resist that.
Okay, that also works for me.
Because I had previously, earlier in the hall, experienced momentary separation. So I think my pitch is that we figure out what I would roll to resist, basically using kind of emotional attachment as an anchor or as a gravitational, like an emotional gravitational field to try to keep the group together.
Okay, this works for me.
What kind of resist should that be?
I think it only. I think flavor wise, that should be moon. No.
Resistance rolls for Moon are against heartbreak and despair.
I feel like flavor wise, that's what works. No.
Okay. So Vic has 2 in Moon, so I can do that.
Roll 2d6 for me.
So resisting with Moon to avoid stranded. Does this count as protecting? For my guardian move.
It does.
So when you protect an ally, take +1d to your resistance roll. So that would be 3d6.
Hey.
So 4, 3, 3, 3. That is 2 stress happily paid to keep everybody together.
Okay, yeah. You take 2 stress. Right. So this is what happens to you very briefly, Vic. You turn from the hole to the hallway as if to let the rest of the group know. I think I just saw Euphony. You turn, and only Kat is beside you. You are no longer in a hallway. You are in the same vaguely magically lit portion of pure darkness that you were in the last time you saw Euphony in the dream. And you turn and you notice that Nina and Ruth are not here, and immediately this kind of silent panic kind of strikes you. Like, oh my god, everyone's separated again. I can't let this happen. And as you have that thought, that like little blink of your eye again, whether it's you or the dream, you still can't tell. But you see that, and then you're back in the hallway again. The hole is not in that room. Everyone is still in the hallway, and your eyes hurt like a mother. You don't know why. You're in a dream. This is not supposed to just suddenly hurt, but your eyes hurt like looking at a very bright computer screen in the middle of the night times 12.
Okay. So I think Vic will kind of squat down to to kind of put their head close to their knees and close their eyes and say, something's trying to separate us.
Did Vic and Kat blink out of view for Ruth and Nina? Like, what did everyone else see?
Yeah.
The rest of you didn't notice anything because of the effort that Vic has just made.
In that case, Ruth goes over close to Vic and like hunkers down a little. He doesn't have to go that far because he's short. And then says very quietly so that the others don't hear, "Is this that stupid shit you did to get us in here?"
No, it's more like when Nina and I were in the hole and there was Euphony.
Oh, no, no, no. No, that was bad. That was so bad.
So this may be a trap, but it may be somebody else springing a trap with the opportunity made by a third thing.
Just as you finish saying that, you hear what sounds like a public announcement system in this building that goes something akin to Attention, everyone who has come to enjoy our static experience. We would like to let you know that there is a wonderful treatment being performed in room static, and has already received one very happy customer. And then you hear muffled screaming from just beyond wherever that is being um, projected from. And then the initial voice goes, "To the four newest customers of our experience, we hope that you would also partake in this as well. Have a wonderful day." Ding!
Oh, you'll have a fucking wonderful day.
I am not a customer. I did not make an appointment.
I don't like this.
Ruth, give me
No,
a perceive roll.
a perceive roll. Okay.
Your position is risky and your effect is standard.
Okay, I have 1 dot in perceive. Is this something that I'm idly noticing or something that I'm actively trying to do?
Idly noticing.
Okay, so I will not push then. Roll 1d6. That's a 6.
Nice. That's Dice's voice. The muffled
the
scream.
announcement?
The muffled
Oh.
scream. You know is Dice's voice.
Okay, I guess in context, Ruth has heard him screaming before when he was like really badly injured in a fight or something, because otherwise this would be completely out of context and he wouldn't ping it. So when the screaming comes over the PA system, what the other people in the group see is that his head kind of snaps up and like his eyes narrow and he like frowns very, very deeply.
Ruth, are you good?
His entire body just goes very, very like angry clench, and he
Cat's
goes.
still holding his arm.
Yeah, so you feel him like go stony, and he goes, "I guess we better go to that room then."
This is the part where I remind you as GM that one of the things that we had noted earlier about how to traverse the dream is that because the dreamscape operates on its own physical logic, that is, no logic at all, you can perform a defy roll at any point in time to just exert your will over the dream in order to get to a particular location, which would be particularly useful since you have no idea where this room is, whether it physically exists, or whether it is on the corridor that you're presently in, or in another one.
Does anyone have dots in Defy? Because I sure don't.
Okay, I guess Ruth is just defying our way into this thing because he says, "I guess we're going to this room," and then he literally just kind of like battering ram walks forward to like get to this room.
Nice.
So how many dots do you have in Defy?
I have 3 total, but one of those is a transcendent dot, so technically I only have 2 right now.
Yeah, technically until you transcend you only have 2. So your position is desperate, and your effect is... Your effect is standard. I want so badly to be able... Right, right, yes, your position is desperate and your effect is standard.
Okay, now Ruth's one ability is Reckless. When you make a desperate roll, you may choose to get plus 1d for the roll. If you also take minus 1d to any resistance rolls against consequences from your action. He's doing that.
So Jeoi, I have 2 links with Ruth, and so I think Vic spends one of those links, and the way that gets expressed is that like Vic stands back up and like opening their eyes kind of flexes and pushes out against the like psychic pressure that is trying to separate everybody to create a little bit of a bubble or a boost for Ruth's Defy. So I'm going to spend a link to give you a free assist.
Oh, thank you. So in total, that becomes 4 dice, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So as Ruth pushes, he kind of glances back at Vic and mutters, "You're always helping." So I'm rolling 4d6. That's a 4, a 5, a 1, and a 3.
Okay. That's noteworthy. The 5 is valuable information. While this is also happening, I would like you to give me your resistance roll as well.
Oh!
Um,
What resistance am I doing?
I think it's only fair that you resist with sun.
Okay. And because I used Reckless, I ordinarily have 2 dots of resistance, but I do not anymore because it's -1, so it's 1 dot of resistance. Roll 1d6. That's a 1. Ouch.
Oh lord.
So I believe that's 5 things of stress.
Yes, unfortunately.
2,
Um
3, 4, 5.
I'm
How you
so
doing,
sorry.
friend?
I am 3 dots away from Eclipse right now.
Can I spend a social link to get rid of some of that stress for Ruth? That would be cool.
Oh,
That would be so you or Link's pro tag recover 2 stress. So I would like to
Mhm.
I wanna help.
Nina does help. Nina is
Yeah.
like the least stressful person for Ruth most of the
Yeah.
time.
Nina does like a pep talk. He's like, you got this, you can do it. Everything's gonna be cool.
Mhm.
That's actually quite helpful. So I take away 2 stress. So now I am 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots away from Eclipse.
Cool. Nice.
Thank you, buddies.
So, Ruth, I would like you to describe to me how do you physically defy this space? Do you just keep walking down the corridor?
I keep walking down the corridor,
Okay.
and I am the physical manifestation of move or get run over.
Nice. Cool. So, you get up from talking to Vic and you march in front of everybody else down this corridor, and you take.
Kat hasn't let go yet, so she is slightly jogging to keep up with Ruth.
I'm also
Mhm.
slightly just pulling you along.
Which is going to be particularly interesting for you to witness as well, because what immediately happens is, Ruth, you take 5 steps, 6 steps, 7 steps, and then you headbutt something. There is just supposed to be an open corridor in front of you, and you hit something solidly. You have come across what is essentially the dreamscape equivalent of invisible geometry in a video game.
Oh no, I hit collision.
And then
This isn't a Bethesda game. What?
and then you just kind of go, nah, fuck that. I'm still walking down this corridor. And you just keep walking, and beneath you, everyone else can vaguely notice that instead of walking down the corridor, you're dragging the corridor under your feet towards you. And that happens for quite a few steps. You feel as if you're like moving a wall. You're just like dragging the dream beneath you. And you do that for a couple steps, and then the floor just kind of shakes a little bit. And all of you notice instead that all of the bricks of the walls and all of the tiles of the floor start shifting very violently to make space for the corridor to turn to the left. And as you continue down the corridor and turn left, you see another pair of large double doors directly ahead of you. And behind those glass double doors, you can see the figure of someone. You can't really make out from this far away from those doors, but someone is in what looks like a dentist's chair, and they are screaming like hell.
Is it dice?
You can either roll to find out, or you could just try to get to that room as quickly as possible. Either of those would answer that question.
I mean, look, someone is suffering. They probably don't deserve it. I am not particularly interested in the question of who it is. Cat is just going to move forward because when someone is suffering, it's our job to make that stop.
Yeah. I was just wondering if we knew who it was, or if
Ruth
only
knows
Ruth knows.
who it was because
Yeah,
Ruth
yeah.
recognizes the voice. Ruth hasn't said who it is.
Yeah.
But the instant the double doors come within sight, he seems additionally galvanized in the extremely angry way that Ruth becomes when he is going to get something done, and God help anybody in the way. So he just continues moving forward to the doors and basically like throws them open or kicks them open.
Okay. Give me a 1 die 14 roll.
1 die fortune roll. Ding, 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 ding. Roll 1d6. That is a 1, unfortunately.
You kick the door open, but instead the glass double doors open in front of you, so you are now tumbling inside this room. On either side of the glass double doors, you see 2 more mannequins in nurse outfits. You can see very clearly now, because you are in the room, that this is in fact Dice. Dice is strapped to this chair, lying almost entirely flat in it. There is like a very bright lamp over Dice's head, and lots of very long, sharp drills are whirring all around his face that are like protruding from what looks like the back of the chair that Dice is in, but none of them are touching him. And as far as you can see right now, while you're still on the floor in the room, is that it's just the 2 of you and those mannequins in the room.
Wait, I got separated from everybody?
Everyone else is still behind you, but they haven't entered the room yet because you're on the floor in front of the door.
Okay, so I haven't disappeared. The crew is still here. It's not like a Vic disappeared thing. Okay, that's good. That's good. I was worried for a bit. I was like, don't split me from the party.
Okay. Everyone else is now close enough to also notice all of these things. What do you do?
Well, Ruth
we
gets
have to
up.
help Ruth up.
Well, Ruth gets up and has a knife. Ruth has the knife that he attempted to stab Vic through the eyeball with when they first met in the dream.
Aha, I see. Noted. As you do.
Yep.
What are you gonna do with the knife?
Well, I'm going to either cut Dice out of the chair, or I'm going to cut whatever gets in front of me. So.
Okay. The nurses don't move, so if you go up to the chair, they don't seem to respond at the moment. So you can cut Dice's restraints if you like, but I will have to ask you to give me a roll for that.
Okay. I I guess that's a defy roll.
Mm-hmm. Your position is risky and your effect is standard.
Okay. Hopping back to the roll20 page so I can roll 2d6. That is a 6 and a 2.
Okay. Very briefly, the Velcro restraints very briefly turn into eels. But then when you put the knife next to them, they turn back into Velcro, and then you cut them. And Dice straightens up, takes the gag out of his mouth, and goes, "Y'all shouldn't be here."
Shut the fuck up.
You know that you're in danger, right?
Vic, where do we go from here?
So we can either leave if we think there's nothing else to do here, or we can try to find whoever is pulling the strings and make them stop.
You do
I vote
not
for making
want to do
people
that.
stop. Shush, shush, shush.
Shush.
You shush.
Nina will quietly take Dice aside and be like, okay, tell me things. They're going to figure this out, but explain this to me. I don't understand what's going on.
I was at... Right, so we were at Somnia, right? I told you the stuff that I knew. I left. Someone hit me over the head with something, and now I'm here. Because unconscious, yeah? He reaches into, what should be the breast pocket of whatever shirt he's wearing, but it didn't have one when he reached down, and now suddenly does. And when he pulls out whatever is in that pocket, it is a card, and the card has the eye on it.
And just for those catching up, the last person that Dice spoke to before he was dream napped, I guess, was Kat at Somnio when he was showing her the card specifically.
Oops.
Brandon, I don't remember where we settled on whether Vic had been at Somnio when Siobhan was working.
I think you would have just left by that point.
Okay, but not previously. So Vic does not have that connection in mind.
You have in our session 00, like pre-stream, when we were setting the backstory of the campaign, you were there at one point with Siobhan in the background, but you deliberately did not interact with her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you do vaguely know, yes.
So Vic knows, then I have a line to add here. I just didn't want to overstep. Since it's a pretty important character connection.
Mm-hmm. So Dice is about to interject again, but instead you hear the public announcement system again that goes, attention, valued consumers, we would still like as much as possible for you to not interrupt individuals during their sessions. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your evening. Ding! And then the lights flicker in this room. I would like everybody to give me a 1-die fortune roll.
Ayo.
Yeep.
Roll 1d6.
That was a 1!
Nice, cool.
Nina got a 4 again.
3 for Vic.
I believe that's a 5 for Ruth. Yes, it's a 5.
So Kat rolled a 1, Vic rolled a 3.
Yeah.
I would like... In fact, no. Vic? Good lord. How much stress do you have, Vic?
4.
Good lord. Good lord. Good lord. Vic, I need you to roll a resistance for me.
What type of consequence am I resisting?
I mean, you are... Essentially, as it occurs in this situation, the dreamscape operating on you is technically a physical consequence. The dream is about to physically control you in a way that you will not like.
Okay. If it is not protecting an ally, then I will just roll the resist.
The consequence will involve protecting an ally.
Okay. Then I have special armor through here for you, and I just resist.
Ah, okay, cool. Right. The lights flicker. In the darkness, none of you can see absolutely anything, except for Vic, who very briefly, instead of seeing absolute darkness, sees the hole again. But then, the lights come back on in this room. Vic and Kat, you both have Velcro straps wrapped around your wrists, but they're not attached to anything. And you hear, like, the dull scraping of two, what sounds like two metal folding chairs just kind of collapse behind you. Otherwise, all of you notice that you're presently surrounded by mannequins. There are 10 mannequins in the room, and they're all circled around you.
Do they look like they intend bodily harm upon us?
I mean, they look like mannequins. I'm not sure if that's enough. It would be
Yeah,
enough
but
for me.
Yeah, but there's like, hey, I'm a mannequin, and I'm a mannequin.
Yeah, like
Okay.
they're
Is this like the Doctor Who mannequins?
right.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
No,
is
yeah, because
this
that's
or
very much
have
the
they gone
flavor.
full Weeping Angel on us? Like where? How
It's
far are they?
it's definitely Weeping Angel. It's definitely Weeping Angel flavor. They are leaning towards you, but other than that, they just look like static mannequins.
I don't like this stream. I don't like this stream.
All right. If we fight, it may take a lot.
Is the exit still there?
Yeah, the glass double doors are still behind you. You'll need to pass through some of these mannequins to get to the door, but it's there.
Okay. How are we feeling on Ruth trying to blunt force trauma the group's way to whoever is responsible for this nonsense? Because his patience is like there now.
Right. So out of character, is this a time when is this the mission where we see multiple transcendences?
I wonder.
Because that's how we add gas, right?
Yeah. The reason why I ask is because right now, that's my immediate instinct for what Rook would try to do to get the group out of this situation is just to go directly to the source of whoever is doing all of this. But at the same time, I have 5 spots of stress left. So I don't know if we want to take that route.
I think there's something very stupid and risky that I might be able to do about that.
Yes, go on.
I like stupid and risky. I like stupid and risky a lot.
I can expend my special armor to be in 2 places at once, so theoretically, one of me can skip ahead to the boss fight. Now, this is really stupid of me because I don't have any dots in Defy.
What if Ruth tries to get to the boss fight and then you use your special armor to follow along with? Because
I think that makes sense, yes.
Because I don't know if past you has lived this already so that you know where in the dream to end up going 2 places to be.
See, that's the other thing. If I follow you into the boss fight I can theoretically invoke a flashback to save you from whatever we do wrong.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, so I like this
Wanna
a lot.
go? You want to go?
Okay, let's go. Let's do it.
I like this a lot. I want to lean into this as much as possible. So I'm gonna ask only one other thing.
Mhm.
And for this I need to remember a thing. Let me look at those sheets again. Right. Okay, cool. Noted. Cat.
Mm-hmm.
How many dots do you have in either analyze or express?
I have 1 dot in analyze, and 1 dot plus 1 transcendent dot in express.
Uh-huh.
But I have not transcended today.
Not yet. This is noteworthy. I guess it also counts how many dots you have in empathize by chance. The answer to this question is none.
That's
sure.
a none.
Ah, cool.
We're so squishy and so inept.
I guess we'll settle for analyze then. I would like you to give me an analyze roll.
Okay.
Your position is desperate. Your effect is standard.
Analyze 1d6, marking desperate XP, and that is a 2.
Oh.
I am having some bad luck with the RNG today.
Aha, cool.
Something hairy happened. I think maybe the initial idea that this is a really bad themed cafe is giving Cat like bad vibes in general. Maybe we can play
Probably.
it off that way, yeah.
Yeah. No, because the thing that I did, like, somewhat serendipitously, a lot of that was going to lean into the answer that I would have given you if you did get a 6. So, what I will say as a result is, you notice that there is a flickering in the dreamscape as well. And very briefly, you feel like you don't understand why you would be seeing it. It doesn't make sense that you'd be seeing it. But very briefly, you see what looks like an inferior hostess bar to Somnio. It looks like what Somnio would look like if Somnio had no money. When you see it, like when you see that flicker in the back of your mind, you see the mannequins all vaguely turn into like random people that you've met, your neighbor, the person that you buy your favorite sandwich from, the like a woman that you've met on a bus this one time, and then it just flickers back into this spa room while you're still surrounded by these mannequins. You do not, unfortunately, notice the valuable information that I would have given you that would have told you immediately what to look for to get to the room where those announcements were made. So, unfortunately, you'll have to continue to rely on luck or continue to just force the dream to tell you something.
So I do have that ability, Oracle. You can see the myriad timelines leading from past to future. When you gather info, gain 1 effect. If it relates to your fated person, also take plus 1d. Would I be able to use info gathering to figure out where we're supposed to go? And or do I know where we're supposed to go because we did this before?
Aha, yes. Goddamn time
Because
travelers,
we have to
man.
keep remembering, I've done this.
Okay. So of the time traveler questions and the gather information, what is the question that you'd like to ask before I let you roll a thing for me again?
What do I remember about this? Or, yeah, I think that's good.
Okay, cool. I would like you to give me... How many dots did you say you had in Express?
1 base, 1 transcendent.
Right. I would like you to give me an Express roll.
Can I use a social link to help, or is Nina not there? I
Oh no, you're still present.
Okay, yeah, because it's like I know we flashed, but I assumed we all flashed together, but I wasn't sure. Okay, so yeah, I would like to use a social link to assist. So that would be 1 + 1d.
Okay. Your position is desperate. Your effect is great. This doesn't happen very often in the dream, but it will.
There's a 2. Wait, sorry, no, there's a 1 and a 5 there.
Okay.
And I am marking my desperate XP.
Yay!
We're sure getting that today, aren't we?
So repeat your question again.
What do I remember about the path we should take through this dream?
So in the past version of you visiting this experience, in one of the myriad other timelines that you've engaged in this, you know most of the layout, but you do remember that the final confrontation, although you did get to that room, was resolved before you got there by Euphony. Euphony was particularly upset at that point for reasons that vaguely are tickling the back of your brain. You remember that they kind of stormed off in front of everybody just as you realized exactly what the path of the dream was. Kicked someone's ass behind 2 glass double doors before anybody could turn the other corridor, and then just ushered you all out. So you remember the path there, but you don't know much about what's going to be there, except that one very angry person or 3 or 4 very determined Dream Knights are presumably capable of dealing with this all on their own very swiftly. What you know as a result is there are 2 ways that you can get to that point through the dream. A baseline defy will just lead you out of this room and straight down the emerging corridor. What would be in real life about 25 feet to another pair of glass double doors. Or if you tried to break any of these walls, you would be right into that room, which doesn't work in real life but does work in the dream. But that would require a very powerful defy.
As the person who has no dots in defy, can I build a path there with analyze?
Yes, you can. Analyze will essentially just allow you to read the dream constructing the path of that room very easily.
Okay, then I think I have to roll the thing I have a dot in. A dot. Singular.
Your position...
Remember that Ruth is also planning to just brute force the way through the dream, but it makes sense that Kat is reacting before he is, because she's done this before.
Yeah, right. Kat has dream muscle memory now.
Yeah, but if Kat remembers that about Ruth in the first iteration or some timeline brute forcing his way through, she could also like manipulate the path so that he's like pointed in the right direction when he does actually do the defy.
What I will
How
say
many dots do you have in defy again?
I have 3 in total, but I'm not transcended, so it's 2.
Okay, I think I kind of just want to point Ruth at a wall and then go to town.
I'm gonna just note idly, as Brandon would say, that Nina does have worth saving, which is when you run foolishly into danger, and no one comes to help you, mark experience. Your allies roll plus 1d when they protect you from consequences. And so if Nina runs into whatever this is and somebody runs after her to protect her from consequences, they get an extra die. Just
So
also,
what
like
I have
that.
social links.
I-
And also, Believe in Me means links on my sheet and links with me on other player sheets may be spent to affect any character. So if anyone feels like throwing links around, you can do so indiscriminately.
Oh,
I like the idea that, like, at the same time Kat decides to point Ruth in the correct direction, Nina runs in the wrong one, so then Vic has to go get Nina back.
No, don't
Because-
split the party. Don't split the party. It could
don't
be like
split the
basically,
party,
well,
even
yeah,
for comedic
but
purposes.
Nina can Leroy Jenkins. This is what I'm saying. That's all. That's
yes.
The thing is,
Honestly, I love that image.
I suggest it because we are currently surrounded by mannequins, so it's not like Nina can actually split from the party.
So there's also the option of a group defy with a Vic Ruth tag team.
No.
Oh Lord. What I was also going to
I
say,
laughed my lungs out. Ow.
what I was also going to say is that, mechanically, I as a GM, I'm willing to argue that, the result of your analyze can also become, a setup for the following defy, regardless of who decides to take it. So if you decide to analyze, you could just kind of pass that information on to someone, and their defy is them acting on the information that you've given them plus 1d. In that case, your analyze, your position is desperate, and your effect is standard. In fact, no, your effect is great because you've been here before.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see. And I have... Sorry, I'm getting the bonus die from Nina, right? Wait, no, I did that last time. So just 1d6. That's a 5.
Nice.
Okay, cool. This is... You are 90% accurate of this, but 90% is enough in the dream. You know the path out through these mannequins if you wanted to go through these double doors, but you also know it's possible to just kick down the wall that is facing the double doors, but you know that would require a great... mechanically, to qualify how well this defy would have to go, you know, it would require a great deal of effort to get the wall down. But once the wall is down, you are already in the room where the final confrontation will take place.
Kat says to Ruth, scale of 1 to 10, how angry are you right now?
He snaps back, what the fuck do you think?
Kat, takes him by the arm and turns him to face that wall and goes, knock that down for me.
He shoots her this, sullen, but in the I'm exasperated as a friend face. You keep telling me to do things, and I keep doing them kind of way, but he is angry enough that he does go for it.
Okay.
Mannequins in the way be damned.
I would like you to give me a defy roll. The result of this defy roll will qualify how you deal with the mannequins behind you and the wall in equal measure. I'm not really gonna think very much about it. But
Joy, is this the you're up to something moment?
What up to something moment?
So your position is desperate.
Okay.
Your effect is great.
Okay.
And you're getting +1.
I get +1 flat. Oh, because of the analyze roll.
Mhm.
Okay. I am going to use reckless again. Why not?
Good lord. Okay, cool.
because we have the social links, we may as well use them and be like, ta-da! With the power of friendship, we can take so much stress. So, God, I hope this doesn't turn out terrible. So it's 2 basic dice because I am not transcended. Then there's the 1 dice from analyze, and there's the 1 dice from
Reckless, yeah.
reckless. Yeah.
And this is Desperate Great.
Yes. So that's 4 dice total. 4d6. That's a 1, a 6, a 1, and a 4.
Okay. We are going to describe how this wall comes down after the very briefest of breaks. Um, this is a reminder to all of the lovely people in chat, exclamation point break, that a break for you, a break for us on the camera is a break for you in the chat as well. So please take an opportunity to get some water, get something to eat, take your medication if you have any, make sure that your bones are in the right place, so we can all come back feeling a whole lot better than we did sitting down for 2 hours. With more Girl by Moonlight, Fractal Spire, our Speculate special event here on this channel. So give us about 10 to 15 minutes and we'll be back with more dream shenanigans in a little bit.
Brandon, you're muted
Oh no! Oh no! I was muted the
on
whole
the stream.
time.
Not good.
Tragedy! Apologies. Sometimes I forget what buttons I'm pressing. I thought I had pressed that button. I looked at it. My mouse cursor was on the button. My brain is hollow. I apologize. But yes, welcome back to more Girl by Moonlight, Fractal Spire, our Speculate special event here on twitch.tv/ArvanElron. When last we left off, our intrepid heroes had decided to break the wall, so Ruth broke the wall. And we're about to hear the description of how that is being performed. So, Ruth, what exactly do you do when Kat gives you the instruction to just charge through the wall behind you?
He shoots her again, that exasperated friend look, which is very odd, because he doesn't really look at people generally in the group as though they are his friends, but, you know, sometimes his face does give him away. And he's still holding the knife. So he moves forward, and the way he moves forward, it's almost as though all the existent space in front of him and everything in that space in front of him suddenly knows that they in fact do exist. And he takes that very personally. And it's very, very simply a matter of moving through everything that exists in front of him in as bluntly and as unforgivingly a manner as possible. So essentially, he just kind of makes a Ruth-shaped gingerbread man cutout right in front of him as he storms forward and breaks through this wall.
Okay. As you do that, I would like you to roll resistance for me.
Indeed. So again, because I took reckless, that 2d6 becomes 1d6.
Mm-hmm. Because we're rolling with the sun again, I think.
Yes. That is a 5.
Ah, okay, cool. You only take one stress. Nice.
1 stress.
On the other side of that wall, you see the inside of another room. This room is more dimly lit than all of the others. It doesn't have like white mini bricks in the wall or white polished tile on the floor. You see a lot of purple velvet curtains. A lot of like very large semicircular what look like lounge chairs set in like booths that look very similar to a place that you've been before. It doesn't emerge to your brain very suddenly until you're like, this looks like Somnio if Somnio were a different place. In it, you see dozens of mannequins actively attempting to cater to several of those booths, but those booths are empty. No one is in any of those booths. You just see mannequins moving, serving drinks to people who are not there, laughing at jokes that are not being told. And standing by the what would look like the entrance slash exit to this place if you got to this place through normal means, you see a young, relatively short woman in a crimson paisley cheongsam with golden accents, holding a circular in her hand and like referring to it very strangely, and like looking up at the rest of the space, as if monitoring the mannequins. Ruth,
She's
you have
holding
no
a
idea.
what in her hand?
She's holding like a clipboard in her hand.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
I didn't hear that.
You give me a roll to see if you recognize this person.
I guess would an analyze roll make sense here?
Yeah.
Or a perceive?
Analyze more than perceive, although perceive would also work.
Okay. I have a dot in either, so it really depends on what, I guess, narrative flavor you're thinking.
Your effect is higher with analyze. I'd give you standard instead of limited.
Okay,
but
then
your position is risky.
I shall roll analyze. Then rolling 1d6. That's a 1. I do not recognize this person.
Yeah, you, to the best of your knowledge, you've never seen this person before in your life.
Okay.
Does everyone else follow through the hole?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I'm guessing that because Ruth has been in dreams like this before with the rest of the Dream Knights trying to find somebody who is controlling the dream or manipulating the dream, he knows that this is the place where they want to go. Ultimately, at the end, it's the final boss, so to speak. And Kat just knew where this was. So he literally breaks down the wall and literally all the mannequins in the way to get there. And he looks at Kat, who like shows up beside him and goes, "You're up to something."
I don't know why you would make such a baseless accusation against me.
Yeah, you're up to something.
Wow. Unkind.
That's me.
Kat.
You're very kind all the time.
Kat, I
Ruth
would like
rolls
you
his eyes
to give
pointedly
me a
and
roll.
blushes. But yes, a roll for Kat.
Yes.
I would
Ruth
like.
can be as mean as he likes as long as he keeps making me macarons.
He'll never stop.
I would like you to make a roll to observe your surroundings. I imagine.
Can that be analyzed?
Yes, it can be.
Thank you.
Your
I have no dots in perceive.
Your position is risky, your effect is standard, and I'm giving you +1 die because of the previous analyze.
Thank you. That is a 2d6. I have rolled a 5 and a 4.
Ah, okay, cool. This is enough. You know the young woman in the Crimson Cheongsam.
Oh no.
That's Siobhan. What's Siobhan doing here?
Oh no. Extra knows.
To you, visibly, it seems like Siobhan is worried or concerned about something. You are not sure if it registers at the moment as fair or something else, but it is not wholly positive, it seems to you in this moment. And it doesn't seem like Siobhan has noticed you.
Mm-hmm.
Or your friends or the whole.
We literally broke down a wall.
It's a dream.
She's
Sometimes people don't notice
hyper-focused.
things in the dream. So
No,
yeah.
it's completely plausible. There have been days when there's just been an earthquake and I didn't notice because I was doing other things.
So what do you do with the information that you now have?
I don't know that Siobhan works with Vic in her day job, do I? Yeah, I think I don't have that information in character yet.
Yeah,
That's
you don't.
exciting.
Vic knows both of Siobhan's jobs, but you don't.
Mm-hmm. Does Siobhan know that Vic knows?
I don't think Vic would have brought it up.
I am.
Anyway, Brandon, is there a chair in this room?
There are empty lounge chairs and stuff in this room if you're looking for something more specific. Um, are you looking for something more specific? What are you looking for?
No, I just need a chair. It doesn't matter what type. But
Yes. There are lots of chairs. If you wanted like a wooden, if you wanted just like a simple wooden chair as well, that works. Also, I'm going to roll. I'm going to physically roll a d6 off screen to note a thing idly to myself. Cool. I noted a thing idly to myself.
Kat
Continue.
sees Siobhan being super, super tense and goes to her, tries to take her by the shoulders and say, shush, 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 shush. I think you need to go on break, and tries to guide her to a chair.
Give me a perceive roll. It has to be a perceive roll. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's going to be exciting. 2d6 and take the lower?
Yes, position risky, effect limited.
Oh! That is a 2 and a 1! I think
Cool.
that's the third one I've rolled today.
Cool.
I don't know if we can retroactively change this, but Nina does have that ability to spend links. I think just Nina or everybody?
Everybody. Nina's ability gives everybody the ability to spend links for anybody.
So we could add another couple dice to the roll or not. I don't know. It depends on Brandon.
I think it's a little
I'm sorry,
late
let
for
me clarify. It's actually anyone who has links with Nina can spend Nina links on anybody else. Noted, I also still have cat links, so if we need to spend a link, I can do so.
I am more than happy to let you do that again. Not only because it is in flavor as the time traveler, but also I'm not trying to be mean to you for the game. It's not like it's not like poker. If you decide you want to just do the thing over, just do it. Once you're spending that link.
No, I want to roll with the 1.
Okay. Noted. As in you do not notice anything. So yeah, you walk up to Siobhan. Siobhan is briefly surprised and then just kind of continues playing it cool and is like, hi, what are you doing in here?
And I would like to invoke Rewind Return. You have been through this timeline at least once before. Flashbacks cost 1 less stress than normal. How did this go wrong the first time? What's that face Brandon is making?
Goddamn time travelers, man!
Well, we know one timeline at least where Euphony was the one who took care of everything, and that seemed to have gone badly, just in the sense that Euphony was angry. But this is another possible timeline.
Yes, the specific timeline that Kat is rewinding from. The first time, when this went wrong, we let Vic approach Siobhan first. And she lashed out. She panicked. That's why Kat is the first to approach her this time.
Right. Do I tell you this or do you tell me this? Is that you telling me this?
I don't know. It doesn't attribute how did this go wrong the first time to either of us. I think this is collaborative.
Yeah.
So,
in other Forge in the Dark moves like this, I would default to the player.
Yeah.
But collaborative is like almost always good, right?
So I think we are already getting a slightly better outcome because Siobhan is reacting with confusion instead of panic.
I mean, it is worth noting that one of the only few things that I would like to suggest adding to this scene, much like every other timeline that you have reset from, is that the negative consequence of that event going poorly is the death of at least one other Dream Knight. If so, who was it / were they?
It was Nina because Nina was squishy and Nina tried to help Vic.
Okay. That is of note. Cool. Um.
Sorry for casually killing your character, Valerie. It's probably going to happen a lot.
Okay, so now that we've established that, did you establish that because there was a flashback that you wanted to cash in immediately, or just for context?
Context.
Cool, noted. Um. So I will also suggest when, in fact, no, I'm not going to suggest this. I'm going to ask you. When Siobhan lashed out the last time, what did that entail? What did she do?
Brandon, I'm about to give you a very, very big knife. Actually, I'm about to give you a lot of big knives.
I mean, it's the job as a GM is for me to juggle all of these knives.
Not only can she control all those mannequins, she can generate more of them. And we basically just got buried under the Zerg rush.
Yeah, that's what I imagined as well. Glad to see we're on the same page. Same big knife. Same big knife. Okay, cool. Noted. Right. So
I'm just imagining this tidal wave of mannequins, and then Nina somehow pushed all of us plus Dice away, and then just Nina got buried under all these mannequins, and then that was the bad end.
Extremely heroic.
Yes, very heroic.
So, you have walked up to Siobhan, asked her to get a seat and relax for a bit. She sighs and goes, I feel like I'm having the strangest day.
Yeah, that's not an unfamiliar feeling.
I don't know, it feels like I'm at work. I don't know how to explain it. I'm just very tired. She's like massaging her own neck as she sits. It's like, so how are you? What are you doing here?
Kat's kind of like bending down to stay on eye level with her. And goes. And she's well away from the control panel, right, Brandon? I have her at least out of arm's reach of anything she could be hitting.
Yeah, if there was anything in the room that would require her physical control, she only has a clipboard in her hand. Everything else, it seems like she is no immediate threat to you, except if she wanted to stab you with a pen. But that's like, at the moment, she does not seem like a threat to you at all. Nina, I'd like you to give me an analyze roll, please. No, perceive. Your position is desperate and your effect is limited.
Well, I have no dots in either anyway, so.
Cool, fun. It's perceived though. I have a poisoned promise for you.
Okay, I will I will hear it before I roll.
If you take this poisoned promise, an 8 clock will take its first segment. The name of that 8 clock is Surrounded by Mannequins.
Oh.
I will also qualify for you as a result. Anytime anyone rolls A1 on any of their dice, even if they still succeed in their action, from that point onward, will tick that clock one segment.
Okay, I have a question. I have heartfelt, which is when gathering information about someone's emotions, roll +1d. Does that count in this instance?
Repeat that?
When gathering information about someone's emotions, roll plus 1d. Am I gathering information about someone's emotions?
Maybe it's just the kind of GM that I am. But I think every character's actions are emotional information.
Maybe this is not a gather information kind of role, so that's the other side of it potentially not working.
I mean, mechanically, gather information is a unique thing, so I would say,
Yes.
yeah, no, unfortunately.
It's okay. Just checking. Okay, here we go. Wait, yeah. Okay, so if I take the poison promise, then I succeed automatically, or
If you take the poison promise, you get 1 die.
ah,
Having the 1 die to roll is better than rolling 2 dice and taking the
I
worst
know,
result.
I know.
An 8
Are there
clock is
any
fairly
links that
big.
we can
An
use?
8 o'clock is a big thing. So yeah, does anyone want to link?
I think there's like, yeah, I'm going to spend one of my Nina links.
Okay. That puts me in the same position without the 8 o'clock, or I can take the poison promise and the link, and then we have an 8 o'clock and I get 2 die, but no negatives. Yes? Maybe?
I'd say take both.
All right, let's do this. Okay, so now I'm rolling 2d6, but not taking the lowest. Oh god, this 8 o'clock is gonna bite us with mannequin teeth. Okay.
Mhm.
Aval and 8 o'clock's a long time.
That's a
yeah,
5
there's
and a
1
1.
already.
Oh, a 5 and a
Good
But
1.
lord.
second of B, I think in most of the previous timelines, except for the one where Euphony handled it, we did get surrounded by mannequins anyway, which means we're really experienced at this level.
Ay, ay, ay.
Okay, so of note, remember the conditions that I told you, right? So
8
you
o'clock?
started the 8 clock surrounded by mannequins, and then I also described anytime someone rolls a 1 on any of their dice, regardless of whether they still succeed, that will also mark a
So it's
segment of that clock. So now it
2
is 2 of 8.
texts. Oh no. Okay, but it's a 5 though then.
Cool. Which is also useful specifically for this specific conflict. Because the thing that you notice is that to someone, somewhere that you cannot see in this room, only you notice that Siobhan snaps her fingers for someone to notice.
Okay, because it's Nina. Sorry, everyone. Hey, who are you snapping at?
Where is Dice right now?
And where are all the other mannequins in the room that we
Yeah.
just vacated?
Either Nina or Vic grabbed Dice and towed him. So Dice is with us.
Okay.
Not sure about the physical configuration of people in the room, but
I just wanted to make sure we didn't leave him behind.
No, everybody is in this room. Also, there is a pile of mannequins in the other room. So yeah, while you noticed, in fact, no, because you made noise.
actually, you know, Nina would probably whisper it to Vic and be like, "She's snapping at somebody. I don't know what she's doing. That's weird."
She is kind of a social dynamo.
I don't know what that means.
She acts like everyone is going to do what she says that they should do because, of course, she's right, and that's going to be great.
Okay, but who was she snapping at, though?
I'm guessing those. And Vic points to the mannequins, like at one of the other tables.
But isn't she like pretending that she doesn't know what's going on? She does know what's going on if she's snapping at people to do stuff.
She may not be doing that consciously. Dreams.
I
right?
don't know. This is very sus.
It's very weird, but at least the punching is paused for now.
Vic, I would like you to roll conceal for me.
Conceal.
Yay.
Ruh-roh.
That may not be a thing that I'm good at.
We're passing notes in class, and we got
I'm very
caught.
good at conceal.
I am not.
Maybe I can do something about that.
I do, in fact, have 0 in conceal unless transcended, and I don't think this is the moment where that happens.
Ruh-roh.
Brilliant.
I mean, I think this is possibly a place where I should be assisting because I'm kind of orchestrating the I am going to stand between Siobhan and Vic to try and prevent what went down last time thing.
Sure, yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, that counts.
So
I
I
would.
should
I
either
would. I would take
provide an
that either as
assist
a
and take
setup.
stress, or I can spend a Nina link here, or actually, I'm fine with doing both, honestly,
Oh Lord.
because I am the one who got us into this mess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, because
Any combination of these works for me, I think.
And just so everyone knows, I am 4 dots away from an eclipse.
Okay, same as Ruth, and Ruth is also going to spend a link with Vic to help with the conceal because one of Ruth's promises is the safety I create will be greater than yours. So I think the moment that Kat did like the beeline to this person he doesn't know, and it's like, oh, okay, like she's taking point on this. He kind of moves forward a little and just kind of takes a little bit more space in the dream space so that psychically, if someone looks over, he is the first person that is noticed or is more likely to be the first person that is noticed because dreams work like that. You don't actually have to physically cover up the people in the room in order to hide them. He just takes up more space.
Okay. So that is that one assist and one link from Kat and then Ruth?
Yes.
Yeah.
Brandon, how many stress am I taking?
For the assist.
Mm-hmm.
1 to assist.
Right. No. Yes. One. Yeah.
It's always 1
Okay.
to
It's like-
assist.
Yeah. I was like, this isn't a flashback. I was confused for a moment.
Yep, and then 1 dice from
And I'm
me.
spending 1 link.
Okay.
So that's 2 dice from me.
And 1 dice from me.
So how many dice total are you rolling?
So I went from 0D to 3.
Cool.
Mhm.
Nice.
What is the position and effect?
Your position is desperate. Your effect is limited.
Could I get plus effect from one of those assists instead of a die?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to roll 2D
so
desperate stand.
standard. The
Yeah.
2D. Yeah.
Six. Thank you, friends.
Hey!
Mark, you're desperate.
Oh, the power of friendship.
So
There
it's
is.
a 6 and a 3, not a 1. No ones involved.
Not only do you vaguely make sense in this space of how to like point out the things that you've noticed about these mannequins without being seen, but because of that 6, I feel like I should give you this for free. You notice that even though they're moving as if they were humans, if they were not mannequins, their line of sight is always uniquely specific, such that it dawns on you all of a sudden as you just glance at 2, 3, 4 mannequins, right, like the ones that are closest to you in this space. You notice that it is technically, theoretically possible to walk throughout the length of this space, and if you're very careful, not actually be seen by a mannequin, even if you're really close to one.
Well, that is good to know and would probably function by more conceal or flow. Vic is okay at flow, but I think at this moment is fine to continue waiting to let Kat's gambit play out.
Cool.
Same here. Oh, how is Dice reacting to Siobhan, by the way?
Sure, yeah.
I mean, I would imagine that finding out that one of your coworkers was dream torturing you might have a little bit of an emotional effect.
Also, it was implied from the ending of last session that he saw Siobhan and then promptly began running from her. So he might have
Right.
already known, but I'm not sure.
Yoi over here with the good memory.
Da, 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 da.
Dice is actually like leaning on the hole that Ruth made in the wall, trying to be as inconspicuous as possible, mostly failing. Ruth, give me a fortune roll with as many dice as you have in perceive.
Oh, that's not very many. I believe I only have the one. Yes, only the one.
Give me a 1 die fortune roll.
Roll 1d6. That is a 2. But it's not a 1, so Nina is still safe.
Cool. Cat, give me a perceive roll.
Oh
A
no.
lot of things are now happening all of a sudden.
There's no way I can convince you that this should be analyzed, huh?
Nah, it could be analyzed.
Oh, thank God. Then I will just roll the 1d6.
Nina has links.
Desperate standard.
That's a 2, and I'm marking my desperate.
Good lord, y'all not seeing nothing right now.
There are
Nina.
a lot of mannequins.
Is there something to see?
I mean, yeah, because Nina's gonna see it. Nina, on the strength of the previous analyze roll, you see 4 mannequins descend from the ceiling above behind Cat.
Oh no, I don't like that.
Fucking Spider-Man shit.
Because I don't even mean that they just, like, drop down, like a superhero pose. I feel like they're literally falling on their back, and then they just kind of spider up, and then straighten up right behind Cat. Cat, you didn't hear this. You didn't see anything out of the corner of your eye. 4
Nope,
solid mannequins just kind
on
of...
Siobhan. I am totally focused on Siobhan, and I am oblivious to the fact that the scene from the Magnus Archives is just happening behind me.
Okay, now Nina is going to lean forward. Actually, no, she'll lean to Vic again. Sorry, Kat. She's gonna lean to Vic and say, "Do you see the new mannequins behind Kat?"
Yeah, I think the quiet way is done.
Kat, Siobhan looks you dead in the eye with this kind of like... You're not sure if this worry at this moment is just a general worry that she was feeling beforehand, or a kind of concern that she has for you. And she says very softly to you, "Don't you ever just feel really tired?"
That's what coffee's for. Come on, it's okay. You're dreaming.
No, but sometimes don't you just want to just get some rest, though?
There are times when sleep's not restful. Do you think you need to take some time off?
Yeah, but don't you need to get some rest, too?
Nope. Nina, that's it. Nina's done. We're out of here. Nina will now.
Cat, give me a 1 die fortune roll.
Sorry.
Yes. No, I love this. This is great.
Nina pushes through the mannequins because I'm assuming they're between her
That's
and
a
Kat.
6.
Okay, cool. Grand. You feel 2 cold plastic arms wrap around your body. But you respond just quickly enough to just kind of lean forward out of the way before they wrap around you and start squeezing. And then you hear 2 the sound of like hollow plastic pop and crack behind you, and when you turn around, this mannequin has attempted to squeeze the space where your torso would have been so tightly that its arms just kind of broke off its own chest.
Nina grabs an arm. This is now a weapon.
There are still 3.
Extremely fuck this.
There are still 3 fully limbed mannequins right around you. Siobhan actually, like, in this chair, rests the heel of her left foot against your knee and pushes her chair back from you. as if to give the mannequins space to do their thing. Um, who is first? Well, I mean, Nina, you established that you were close enough to get your hands on an arm, so you are close enough to do a thing.
Throw the arm at Siobhan. I don't know that she can hit anything with a throw like that. I mean, her dad watches a lot of baseball, but
Give me a fortune roll with as many dice as you have in Defy.
Defy. I think I don't have any dice in Defy, so that's gonna be none.
So give me 2d6, and we'll
all
take
right.
the lesser result.
Can I assist you here?
I would love to be assisted. And does this count as worth saving where I've run foolishly into danger? If someone is helping me, then my allies roll +1d when protecting me from consequences.
Right,
or if they're not,
yes.
or if they're not helping me, then I mean, I would think that would be a separate roll though. If for the +1d, it's just I roll this, then the consequences are going to happen, and somebody else rolls something else to protect me. Would be
It's how that should work. Yes. So give me a fortune roll with
Here we go.
2d6 and we'll take the lesser result.
Oh no!
No, I still want to assist.
Oh, okay. So then,
I mean, you can still you can still assist it with one die instead.
Yeah. So I assist by spending one stress because if Siobhan is pushing back, then that makes it much easier for what Vic was about to do, which is to move on Siobhan. And so I'm happy to like take a swipe at a mannequin that's interposing or do something else that will help make it more likely that Nina can do this.
maybe like push a mannequin towards her because there's like mannequins in between. I don't know.
Yeah, push something into or out of the way. But it's still
Right.
Nina who's leading here.
Okay, 1d6. Here we go. That's a 6.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
I wanted to just like smack her in the face.
Right. So the Defy in particular is to engage with physical dream logic, because what would have happened was that Siobhan would have noticed you throw the arm, and then would have visually cut in dream space, such that you would just like miss her by a country mile because you weren't even throwing in the right direction anymore. Instead, she misjudges her cut and lines herself up to get one square in the face. Like the closed fist of the mannequin just collides with her nose. She dresses back, and you notice as a result that half of the mannequins in the room are also jostled by something. As if they're literally sharing the same consciousness in this moment. Does anyone else want to do a thing?
Yes, please.
Yes, Vic.
I'm going to do one of the kind of a bullshit flying martial arts grapple.
Mm-hmm.
Where like Siobhan is reeling and Vic will hop/slide over a table and then roll forward to kind of weave their legs between Siobhan's legs to do a takedown and then roll into a submission hold.
Good lord. That's a lot of moving parts, you know.
Well, we'll see how much of that I get.
Okay, cool. So give me your first Defy or flow roll. In fact, no, this is flow. Give me your first
Okay,
flow
I want to
roll.
do it as Defy, so maybe it's more of a standard tackle.
Okay, cool. Right. So, Desperate Standard.
Okay. So I've got 2D here. I would love to get one more. I can do a push, or if someone has a link of it.
I'll take a stress to help. I will also like I'm pushing another mannequin in a way that it potentially is gonna like distract her, hit her or something.
I have a poison promise.
Sure. What's the poison promise?
One of these mannequins is armed.
They're all
Aren't
armed.
most
Brandon.
of them armed?
You walked into that, Brandon.
To clarify, one of these mannequins has a knife.
Ruth also has a
Sorry,
knife.
not sorry, but high five, Iori.
Yeah.
I mean, no, that I walked into that one. Okay, thank you so very much, friends. But yes, one of these mannequins has a knife.
I'm fine with that because it's out of character. It seemed like what impacts Siobhan impacts them. So we can just roll from there. So if that is an assist and a poison promise, then
That's 3, 4, 3?
I've got 2 base plus
Right.
2. And you said this was Desperate Standard?
Desperate Standard.
Okay.
If you want, I can add another one with a link with a justification
Lord.
that Ruth sees the knife and immediately goes for that one.
I mean, I didn't qualify that the mannequin that has the knife is near Vic. I just qualified that a mannequin in the room has a knife.
Yeah, I think mechanically, it's a little bit diminishing returns to go from 4D to 5. So let's save that.
Okay.
Plus, more dice creates more opportunities for ones to add to the mannequin clock. I got 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a straight.
Unfortunately, straights don't give you anything in a Blades game. So, god damn it, the 6.
So yeah, I think instead of the kind of the flow thing, then Vic just stands up onto a chair and then dive tackles Siobhan to try to roll her into a submission hold. And says, "Stop now."
Yeah. This is interesting to qualify in part because I never imagined that Siobhan got up out the chair, which means that the chair collapses in a pile of wood and cloth behind her. And then it's just, you just kind of tussle a bit until you have Siobhan in what I imagine is a headlock at this point.
I love that this is still the timeline in which things are better and less violent than last time.
Also, before we get into any potential conversations between Vic and Siobhan, Vic does not appear in the dream as Siobhan knows them.
It's true.
So is there a chance that Siobhan does not even know who this biker chick who just tackled her is?
Right? And that's probably part of why the previous timeline, the response was so sharp.
Yep. Hello, stranger.
Yeah. Sputtering and out of breath, you hear Siobhan kind of mutter against your grip. None of you are getting out of here, you know.
This isn't a faculty social event. And then I want to actively choke her out, but not permanently damage her. I have her in a submission hold already, so I would hope that this is less risky and or greater effect.
If the part that matters is making sure that she's unconscious, that's flow. If the part that matters is making sure that she isn't hurt, that's empathize.
Okay. If the thing that I want most is to break her control over the mannequins.
Yeah, then you want her either to be unconscious or to be in as much pain as possible. But seeing as you already qualified a lack of pain, I guess you're aiming for the quickest sleep that you can muster in this moment. So that's flow.
Then I think I will pull back and switch approaches, and I want to use express. And it's more about like basically convincing her to stop. You are hurting people. You are bullying people around because you believe that you know what is going to be best for them. You push people around at school, and you're doing it here, and it's not helping anyone. It's hurting them. You are torturing somebody. You are not making a better world. You are not helping anyone. I know you got into teaching because you care. And if you care, then you should know when you're hurting people, you need to stop.
I want you to give me that express roll.
Absolutely.
Your position is desperate.
Sure.
Your effect is standard because of the previous events of your the qualities of your previous rolls.
Okay. So I'm at 2D. I would love any resources that people have available because a good result here may complete the mission.
I can take a stress for an assist.
Or I can use a link.
I can spend a link, but I'm not sure how Ruth would spend a link here to help.
I have a poisoned promise.
The way in which you said that, Brandon, is so great.
We're going to get that on a hat for you, Brandon.
What is the poison promise?
All of these mannequins are going to focus their attention solely on you, Vic.
Bring it on, come on.
All right, okay.
Oh no.
Right,
We're gonna get
Yoink.
D'd in like 5,
There
4,
are like
3.
12. There are 12 like fully conscious mannequins that still have limbs that are still in this room.
I have 12 stress to spend before I die. I'm good.
Oh Lord.
So with a assist and a poison promise, I'm going to be at 4D desperate standard.
Okay, so that's an assist from me, a poison promise, and Jeoi and Valerie are spending links.
I'm not sure how to contextualize Ruth helping in this case.
I think I know. When all those mannequins go for Vic, Ruth is going to be pissed that he's not getting any action.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, in the current context, nothing has actually happened yet.
I mean, fair, but yes.
I guess he's helping by keeping any mannequins from getting closer. Question mark.
Okay.
So yes, if it's that, then I will spend the last link with Vic.
So I think that puts me at 5d6. Let's hope
It does.
the dice gods are kind. Fuck off!
Wow!
No!
1, 2, 3, 2, 3.
Oh no!
Oofa doofa.
So a tick on the clock for Nina.
Sometimes the dice don't like you.
Okay.
Being surrounded by mannequins is now 3 ticks of 8. Did you mark your desperate XP for that roll?
I did. I think an angry lady may be showing up soon.
I feel like the dice knew what I was going for, because I already knew what Siobhan was going to say before you decided you were going to express.
Cool.
You hear like an unbelievable darkness kind of flavor Siobhan's voice as she says, "You think I care if I'm hurting people? Sometimes people need to be hurt. I am here to..." And she says that word again that has been garbled with static every time that you've heard it since you've entered this dream. But you can hear it more clearly now. And you know that it's not that the word is being covered in static. It's that the dream is fighting between making sure that you hear she say, "I'm trying to rejuvenate these people," or "I'm trying to re-educate these people."
So like a double exposure, but audio.
Yeah. But you hear both of them very, very clearly. And she continues, "These people need to learn what they can do in this world, and if they don't want to learn it, someone's job is to teach them. You should know that." And then she pauses for a bit and goes, "Right. You should know that, shouldn't you? You're the one that we've been looking for. The one who ran away from us the first time, aren't you?" And she's visibly struggling now to get out of your grip. And you can feel just a little bit like she's less under your physical control at the moment, but definitely not actually escaping the grasp of your headlock at this moment.
Okay. So what specifically are the consequences of my failure here?
You don't notice because you are physically being engaged in this moment. The thing that you definitely do notice is that you haven't actually gotten through to her. You are aware that this is a potential consequence, but you can't see it because you aren't facing any mannequins. Everyone else can see all of these mannequins are now rushing towards you. Like mannequins are leaping over sofas, sprinting with high intensity. Everybody else can see that. Does anyone want to respond to a mannequin before a mannequin attempts to shank Vic?
So the moment she says, "You're the one who ran away from us the first time, and the one that we've been looking for," it indicates to Ruth that something has gone very, 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 very badly wrong in the way things operate. And I'm going to say ruthless forces transcendence. And because we've been through this before in many myriad timelines, I'm going to say that Kat knows in at least one timeline where ruthless force transcendence at this point, ruthless killed Siobhan.
Cool, fun, delightful. Lots of information to consume at this moment. I want to qualify a thing narratively as this happens.
Mm-hmm.
So Ruthless is forcing this transcendence.
Mm-hmm.
In the part of your heart where the truest part of Ruth and the truest part of Ruthless both reside.
Mm-hmm.
What does Ruthless say to Ruth before taking control of his body?
Ruthless says what she said the first time she forced transcendence on Ruth, which was the first time that he ever transcended. And that is, I am done with your compunctions. I am done carrying the weak.
Okay.
Yep, and then she just breaks right through his psyche and takes his place in the dream.
Mm-hmm. The rest of you all notice, and Vic mostly, in your periphery, you all notice like a burst of light, and you see like thrusting vines start emerging from all around the part of the dream where Ruth previously stood, and are like visibly pushing their way outward as if deliberately aiming for mannequins right ahead of them, and like poking one in the eye, wrapping around one's head and popping it clean off, like tearing through the torso of another one, just decimating 6, 7 mannequins right ahead. And then as those vines fall away, you all now see Ruthless. What does Ruthless look like right now?
Ruthless, when she appears, basically manifests as shafts of light that basically, for better or worse, just impale through Ruth, and like the essence of him kind of bleeds out from that light, almost like he's overexposed into crystal. And he basically becomes empty of himself, hence Ruthless, because he is no longer there. So it is a perfect crystalline facsimile of basically what he was in the dream. And when Ruthless appears, she kind of stretches, and she's relaxed in a way that Ruth isn't. And the way she stretches is almost languid and unconcerned in nature. And she goes, time to do what you can't, I guess.
Okay. Um, Remind me of something just to humor me. What do you have transcendent action dots in?
You're gonna like this. My transcendent action dots are in Defy, Express, Forgive, and Conceal.
Ah, cool. This is fun. So how many dots do you have in Express?
I have 2.
Cool, fun. Ruthless, do you want to hurt somebody right now?
I want to ruin somebody.
Ah, cool, fun. Who would you like to ruin?
I would like to ruin Siobhan.
This is either a Defy or an Express because anger is still a feeling. Your position is controlled.
Okay.
Your effect is great.
So for Vic, every time Ruthless has appeared, somebody has suffered immensely in general.
Yeah, I'm preparing to roll to protect the antagonist of the mission.
Also, I have a poison promise. It's actually I have a poison promise for Ruthless. It's actually a very unique one. If I am going to share this poison promise only with you, Jeoi.
What? Oh, okay, sure. I hope I can read. The poison promise is being typed.
Several promises are typing right now.
I'm also scared.
My feelings are very big.
What is that supposed to mean?
I mean, do you want to find out or not?
Oh dear.
Is that what it means? Is what I typed to you that? What? Oh, okay. But does Ruthless know that? Does Ruthless know that this promise? Ruthless knows.
It'll be their intent.
That's their intent. Yes.
So, are you taking the poison promise?
Yes.
Have a die.
I'm sorry, everybody. Okay, so
we will discuss that at a later point.
Yes. Okay. So the first thing that Ruthless is going to do, I guess, before attempting to do lethal and permanent harm to Siobhan, is to smile at Vic as she approaches, because her virtue is serene and she does all of this with compassion in her heart. And she says to Vic, "Step aside. You know how this ends."
You don't want the... Go ahead.
No, you go first.
You really don't want me to call the other one?
Let me see. Will I be able to move first if if Vic attempts to call lead?
Mechanically, it can only follow that if you take an action while Vic still has to transcend, you will act as that transcendence occurs. However, quickly Deed decides to take an action immediately after that will be a matter for the dice to decide. Okay. So it is still theoretically possible that you will still be in the middle of an action while an already transcended deed responds to you. And then you wouldn't be able to respond to it because you're still doing a thing.
Okay.
Or Deed could miss, but has Deed missed since? So we'll see how that goes.
Whether Deed has missed is something that only Cat knows, because Cat's the time traveler.
I mean, we're in a whole new timeline now.
Yeah, and so Ruthless smiles wider at Vic, and it's very disturbing to see Ruthless smile, because Ruthless looks exactly like Ruth, except is crystal illuminated by lightning. And she says, "Indulge me," because one of her desires is indulgence. And we'll basically move to break Siobhan's skull open.
Cool. Give me that defy roll.
Okay, so I have the poison promise, you said?
You get plus 1d from that poison promise.
Okay, and because Vic transcending, or rather Ruthless indulging in ruin, is indulging in the Avatar wants. I think that does something mechanically, but I can't quite remember what it was. I know if it aligns with your Avatar's virtue, it clears one stress, I think.
So if your actions align with your Avatar's desires, or you accept a dark bargain based on its desire, that action does not deplete your transcendence track, and you mark XP.
Okay.
Jesus.
So I mark XP for playbook or in the action?
I think wherever.
Okay, I will just put that dot somewhere.
I think I may have stirred a hornet's nest with that poison promise in hindsight, and I'm now very excited to see its consequences. Now that you've pointed out the mechanical consequences of leaving it to one's avatar's wants. Cool. Please give me your roll.
Okay, well, so I have my 3 dice because that's my basic defy stat, and then I have the poison promise. Is there anything else that I can do? No, I don't think Ruthless is pushing herself.
Hey, Brandon, is there a mechanic that's like a reverse assist where we can spend something dice off people?
Unfortunately not.
You're gonna love this, Vic, or rather Mike. My only transcendent ability is this one's mine. Once you engage a foe, neither of you may back down until one of you is defeated. While you are engaged with your foe, only your rival can assist you, and other foes will not interfere. Your rival may take your place at any time, but must finish what you started.
Oh my god! Oh my god! This is so juicy.
Yep. Cool. So I will clarify that what Ruthless is starting is wiping Siobhan's existence off the map. Okay, so I believe I only have 4d6.
Okay, I want to do a transcendent interrupt.
Oh god.
I don't roll right now, or
so I do want to note. You don't spend a point of your transcendent track for this defy roll, but you will have to spend one for this one's mine. Vic, give me a 2-die fortune roll before the defy.
Whee! Okay, here's 2d6. That's a 1 and a 3.
Cool. You do not respond in time. Give me your defy roll, Ruthless.
Okay.
4.
That's a crit.
Good lord!
3, a 1, and a 6.
Oh dear.
Yep.
That was so understated, Mike. Oh dear.
You know how in the Metroid games, when Samus Aran loses all of her energy in her suit, her suit shatters off of her body and she's flung into the air, and then there's this flash of white. Um, y- Ruthless. You don't even have to step near Siobhan to do the thing that you're about to do. You just kind of will the dream, and the dream just starts doing things. And the thing that the dream does is there is this rising avalanche, this like solid torrent of what looks like um either broken glass or really jagged quartz or diamond rising out of the floor, rushing from where Ruthless is standing all the way to where Siobhan is being choked out on the floor. And it rushes through Siobhan's body. Um it happens so close to you, Vic, that you notice that something very visceral has happened, but you can't really even make out what at this point because it has happened so suddenly and is made of something so bright and so transparent that you can't really make out that a thing has happened. You just notice that Siobhan gasps and there is this visible physical sensation against your body as if Siobhan is just a little bit more hollow than she was when you were holding her the first time. A beat passes silently in the room, and then all of the mannequins collapse in piles of plastic in front of everyone else. Siobhan coughs, and Vic, you see and feel this warm, weirdly sticky liquid, and you look at it and it's weirdly iridescent, falling out of Siobhan's mouth. And then she faints. And as you all now looking around, that sudden, glassy, solid force that just struck Siobhan is now shattering into diamond dust and fluttering all over the rest of the dream. It doesn't look like Siobhan has been hurt, but Siobhan is visibly moving as if she has actually been terribly hurt. And is now unconscious in your arms. Nina or Kat, I would like you to give me an analyze or perceive roll.
I will analyze.
I have nothing in those, so I will let Kat do that.
That's a 5.
Cool. Your position was risky and your effect was standard, so that 5 gives you enough information to know very vaguely that the dream is kind of falling apart at this point. It is time to go.
Whoopsie doodle.
You know that Vic would also know that you can take Siobhan with you if you wanted to leave, but you don't know if Vic has noticed that the dream is falling apart. Also, there are no mirrors in this room.
What does that mean for where we land?
It means you need to find a mirror to leave.
Oh, fuck.
You can make a reflective surface, but you'd need to know what you're making the reflective surface from.
Can we make a reflective surface out of all the crystal that just exploded
like,
everywhere?
This is going to be weird and gross, but Ruthless is a reflective surface.
Yeah.
Deed can do that very easily. Yes, Ruthless can do that very easily. Ruthless can usher you through any reflective surface that she has made that is not herself. But it means that she needs to roll d5 for that to happen.
Okay, I can do that. Although, does Ruthless know that Siobhan is, now removed from play? Permanently?
Ruthless would know that. God, this is only information that would be fair to share specifically with Ruthless as well. Hold on.
Okay. Oh no.
I'm so sorry, everyone.
Secrets.
Sorry, I just realized I froze into like a rictus of horror.
Are you replying to me?
Yes, I am. I am replying.
Most likely not. That's for the real world to decide.
Okay. In that case, Ruth currently is like screaming very, very loudly inside Ruthless's crystal psyche, but he doesn't matter right now because she's in control. But she does know that the dream is collapsing, and fortunately for the group, she is still invested compassionately in their continued well-being. So she is still smiling at Vic as she conjures a crystal pane for the group to go through and says, I believe our time here is done.
Give me a defy roll. Your position is controlled, your effect is great.
Okay, a defy roll. Da, 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 da. Roll 3d6. That's a 6, a 1, and a 3.
Nice.
Cool, nice. The mirror forms perfectly solidly. Give me a 1 die fortune roll, Ruthless.
Okay. Roll 1d6. That's a 6.
Cool. I will say that you notice this then.
Okay.
Right. You make this perfect crystal mirror. And just as it is solidly forming, you notice a shadow move from behind one of the couches where one of the mannequins may have fallen down and rushes towards the mirror from the back. You know that it's not a mannequin. In fact, this person seems vaguely familiar to you all of a sudden. But they're...
To me only, or to everybody?
As far as gaining the information is concerned, the only person who has seen them move is you. But you can't really make out who this person is because they've moved too quickly and now they're all the way through the mirror. Which is a thing that is particularly news to you because if you made a mirror for specific people to enter, only specific people can enter.
Okay.
But they're already through the mirror. So that's a matter for people who care, I guess. You're only motivated to make sure that your friends are alive. And the mirror is now up. There's now a perfect mirror exit way for you all to leave the dream.
Ruthless says to Vic, after you.
It didn't have to go down like that.
Yes, it did.
Is this flirting?
You don't know.
It could have gone a lot worse. And what you did kept some of that from happening.
Too much talking. Nina grabs dice and just books it through the mirror, like, forget about it.
Nina dice out.
Mina's out.
Yeah.
This is over.
They're talking
Kat
as others are
and Vic-
leaving.
Yeah.
Bye now.
Kat's trying to, like, shuffle Siobhan onto her shoulder so she can take Siobhan with her. But as she passes Ruthless when she's going through the pain, she does, like, free one arm and backhand Ruthless, not as, like, an attack, more as a sign of disrespect.
Cool. Alright.
Mhm.
You all emerge through this crystal mirror. Um, in Ruth's apartment. Some
You
of
guys have never been here before.
Yeah, none of you have been here before, actually. I was going to say at least
Except for
one of you
me.
have been, but yes.
My primary concern right now is Siobhan the corpse now that we're in the real world?
Does anyone want to inspect Siobhan's body?
Nina is busy looking around the apartment going, where are we?
Which of us
Yes.
has anything vaguely approaching, like, the ability to figure this out? Is that going to be
Ruth.
me with the analyze, or...
That's
fuck,
Anyone can
yeah.
do a vague
Ruth's the one
analyze,
who
but
used
Ruth...
to be the paramedic.
Yes.
So yeah,
Oh,
that's
we're
Well,
having a
dice
whole
dice
day.
also.
So I want to qualify a thing. Are we saying then that we would like Ruth to check Siobhan's body? Because
Ruth
that's going to be
would.
tricky.
Ruth
Because
would,
when you
but
all
something
emerge
has
from
happened.
when you all emerge from the mirror, you have all noticed a thing. Vic, give me, while you're still holding Siobhan's body, still like obviously very worried about Siobhan, I would like you to give me an analyze roll.
Still not great at analyze. So
Yeah, no. Desperate standard, actually.
get that XP. Well, we're almost at the end of a mission, so I might as well spend stress and metagame. So I'm going to push to have 1 die.
Okay.
Roll 1d6. 1.
Oh
I think Vic may be slightly emotionally compromised and diminished in
Yeah.
capacity.
no, Vic.
Yeah, you notice the thing, but you notice it in a way that makes you feel as if you are like you are not sure at this point if you've even successfully exited the dream at all, and it makes you a great deal more tense and frustrated as a result.
Yeah, I imagine that if this were a TV show, we'd get a rapid cut montage of like important interactions that Vic and Janet had at work, of like a time when she was really nice to Vic, a time when she was kind of controlling, a time when like maybe she got some kind of whiff of like, are you doing gender wrong? And it's like, it's all just like smashing together like waves hitting Vic.
You look at Siobhan's body, and you notice that she's still breathing, somewhat shallowly, but still breathing. But her skin seems as if it is in like wrapped in glitter. Like it's not like she has glitter on her skin, it's like she has glitter in her. And she feels, while not like so cold that it would be potentially troublesome, she obviously does feel colder than an awake, aware body should feel. And while you're noticing that, and you're about to look up at Ruth and go, why the hell did you do that? Why the hell did Ruthless do that? We could have responded to that a whole lot better. You notice idly a thing that's not supposed to happen. When you leave a dream, you can't take things from the dream with you. You can't take things that obviously cannot exist outside the dream, because the dream is very deliberate about those fantastic things being the things of that realm. And yet, all of you just kind of idly notice, only right now, as if it hadn't dawned on you until the mirror started dimming and you noticed the natural light of the room that you're in, that you see Vic holding the cold and glittering body of Siobhan. You notice Nina very exhaustedly clinging to Dice's arm as Dice looks very flabbergasted at the entire situation that you've just escaped. Um, you see Kat glancing at the room that is like still new to you all, trying to get her bearings, but you don't see Ruth. Ruthless is here though.
Yep.
Dice turns to Vic and then to Ruthless and goes, I'm pretty sure that's not supposed to happen.
Kat puts her face in her hands and says, No, no, no. Ruth has a job he needs to be at tomorrow. You're Crystal. You can't go outside.
And that's where we're going to end this episode of Girl by Moonlight Fractal Spire. Yes, the poisoned promise is Ruthless is here. This is not supposed to happen.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I am going to enjoy that a lot. This was quite a mission, and it's going to get a whole lot weirder considering obligation is next.
I'm gonna get fired.
I mean, do you even still have a workplace to go to? I guess we'll find out.
I mean, I have a cafe to go to, right?
The cafe is full of holes. The cafe is full of broken glass. I mean, I
yeah.
guess
I
we'll...
mean,
Wait, didn't we rewind and fix it? Is that not? I don't remember now.
I
No,
think
the
we
fight
did.
still happened, but and
less
we
of the fight
tidied up and
happened.
stuff. Yeah, less of the fight happened because Kat helped smooth it over. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, I guess there are some things that we will have to discover as we get back into our next session. But
Also, where's Ruth? Where's my angry boy?
Oh, Nina's gonna be mad.
I guess that's the thing that
You
we're
know,
gonna have to figure
the
out.
convenient thing about being in his apartment is that there's some mirrors right fucking there.
Yeah. But how do we all feel about what has just happened?
I'm terrified because there are a lot of things Ruth wants to tell the group that Ruthless is not going to tell the group because Ruthless is that person.
Yeah.
The appearance of Ruthless and Ruthless's transcendent ability, basically putting Deed in checkmate. Mwah!
Yep.
Top tier.
Kat is 2 stress bubbles away from going Eclipse.
This game is reckless and I love it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, that means that our next session is gonna get us in a lot of trouble, but we still have a lot of time until we get to that next session. So, until the next time that we do have more Girl by Moonlight shenanigans to engage in, I would like to ask all of you, my strange friends, to please let all the lovely people in chat know who you are, what you do, and where they can find you next. Starting with Mike.
Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Mike. I write as Michael or Underwood. I'm a writer, podcaster, and game designer. I'm working on a Genrenauts RPG based on my Fantasy Stabby Award finalist Genrenauts novella series. You can follow that at michaelrunderwood.itch.io. And I am GMing our other series at Speculate, Court of Blades Valorword, which you can find at youtube.com/arvanelleron. I'm Mike R. Underwood on Twitter, and twitch.tv/turbotango is where you can find me talking about games and playing them.
Nice. Next, Valerie.
Valerie's trying to remember her name right now. I am Valerie Valdes. You can find me on Twitter at Valerie Valdes. That is with an S if you're listening to this later and cannot see the spellings. And you can find me on Twitch at The Kids Are Asleep, which is when I play video games, currently streaming Hades and Mass Effect Andromeda and Horizon Zero Dawn.
Nice. Next, Jeoi.
Hello and very soon goodbye. I am Jeoi Gawain Lin, he, they pronouns. Today I played a disaster. Also going by he, they pronouns that turned into another disaster who goes by she, they pronouns. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at This Is My Design. Design is spelled capital Dasein. It is a philosophy and Hannibal pun. I am in a state. Over to Iori. Thank you. What's the weather?
Oh lord. And last but not least, Iori.
Kusano Iori, they, them pronouns. I played Cat Holly the Time Traveler today. You can find me on Twitter at Iori Kusano. That is spelled Iori. There are no L's in my name. You can fight me on Master Duel. Yes, thank you, Brandon. And let's see, forthcoming fiction in Apex Magazine this month and Uncanny later in the year.
Mm-hmm. And last but not least, I have been your humble GM and causer of catastrophe, Brandon O'Brien. Pronouns he, him, or they, them. I have a poem in Uncanny Magazine right now that you can read. It's called Quiet and Fragile, Try on the Same Romper. Because I had a lot of feelings about Hideo Kojima all of a sudden in the middle of the day some months ago. I have a book that you can buy. It's called Can You Sign My Tentacle? It's presently up for the Science Fiction and Fantasy Poetry Association Elgin Award. I'm also one of the co-hosts of Speculate alongside Michael R. Underwood and Gregory A. Wilson. And that is why I do Girl by Moonlight Fractal Spire. That is why I'm also playing in Court of Blades Valorwood, which is coming up very soon. I'm very excited for you to learn more about those things. So definitely check out speculateSF.com whenever you do get the chance. And you can find me on the internet at The Rising Tides. The Rising Tides on Twitter, The Rising Tides on Instagram, twitch.tv/The Rising Tides, and therisingtides.itch.io, where you can find more information about my Blazing the Dark game Soundclash, which is presently in development as well. So I think that is it. I am also in a state. I think I broke all of us. I think a lot has happened in this game. So I'm very, very much excited to discover what shenanigans we can get into in the very future. But until then, thank you so very much for joining us for tonight's game. Please tell all of you lovely people in chat good night. As I bid you all adieu very briefly. So I can come over here and tell you all again, thank you so very, very much for joining us for tonight's episode of Girl by Moonlight Fractal Spire. We have gotten into a lot of shenanigans, very obviously. I'm very excited to see what is the aftermath of literally bringing an avatar into the real world. Thank you so very much for joining us. I'm very excited for you to see what shenanigans we get into next, not only in our future episode of Girl by Moonlight, but in our first episode of Valorwood, which should be coming up very, very soon. If I'm not mistaken, that should actually be later in the month of July, if you're hearing this before the month of July has ended. And if you're hearing it after the month of July has ended, that means that it should probably already be in audio form on the website, if you want to check that out as well. Again, thank you so very much for patronizing this channel. A reminder, there are myriad ways that you can support the cool things that take place on this channel by watching VODs of the content on this channel at !ArvTube, by joining the Discord at !ArvCord, by buying merch from the merch store !ArvShop, by patronizing the Patreon, !ArvTreon, your financial support of which allows us to continue doing cool things on this channel in particular, and !Speculate, which allows you to continue supporting the Speculate podcast in particular, including but not limited to paying our wonderful audio editor Rudy Basso, so we can sound good when I am suddenly peaking in the actual live stream. Thank you so very much for joining us. Thank you again to all of the lovely people who supported the Grey Shade Kickstarter. So many lovely people made sure that we can actually bring this fantasy trilogy and tie-in RPG to you. I am very excited for you to be able to enjoy the thing. I, as one of the sensitivity readers and editors of the very first book, can definitely attest that it is, in fact, the bomb, and I can't wait for you all to enjoy it. But I believe that those are all of the things that we have to say right now. A reminder again as well, exclamation point BLM, we do assert and affirm the value of Black lives in the United States and everywhere in the world. Exclamation point help now. It is very important for you to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help in a particularly trying personal time in our world. And exclamation point Ukraine. Ukraine, for more information about how you can assist the Ukrainian community in surviving what is a definitely cruel and unjust and unjustifiable occupation of their territory by Russian occupying forces. Thank you again so very, very much for being present. Thank you so very, very much for spending your time and energy with us. It is actually quite late, and I am still in a mental state after all of the actions that have just occurred, so I think we're just gonna immediately disappear. But again, thank you so very much. I hope that you have a wonderful night. I hope that you have a wonderful week. And sweet dreams, everyone. Have a good night. So here are all of my encouragements for you all to make terrible decisions as I am the GM.
Ash has a crossbow bolt in her side, 0 dots in skirmish, and 0 dots in wreck. And I'm so excited to see this get even worse. So that's 1 vote for escalation.
Skelly has 3 guns and all the ammo.
Crossroads has no guns, but Crossroads is a gun powered by ghosts.
Have we established that your guns are special to you? I feel like we're establishing that your guns are special to you.
Before this crew, they were my only friends.
You've known us for 5 days. You've known those guns a lot longer.
These are my babies.
Yeah.
I just want to say, Rowan was starting to do this, and then he realizes to harvest. This doesn't help. Like, don't do that.
This is not.
No.
This is
Like,
not.
don't do
the
this.
thing.
Like,
Yeah.
Doing this to an executioner.
yeah, that's not what you
just
want.
like this, like
We call that the go sign, you know? Like, yeah.
Oh man.
This theme's great. I will do a fortune roll. Notes. No thoughts. Head empty. 1! I rolled a 1!
Yep.